some guys, some of the fantasy football players that showed up, some of the ones we are concerned about. We're going to talk about the waiver wire, some guys that may be out there that you can go and pick up to replace your flops.
At least there weren't like a ton of huge injuries this week, I guess.
That is true.
Is that an upside?
Unless you had Eagles, Miles Sanders and Zach Ertz. Look like they're both going to miss the next game.
They were kind of dead because they're on the Eagles anyway.
I did have them. Zach Ertz is underachieved. Hopefully it was because of this. He was bad because of this injury.
He was pretty bad.
Miles Sanders actually playing pretty well. He was one of the kind of bright spots on the Eagles, but I've heard different estimates. It sounds like he's probably definitely going to miss this Thursday night game. They're playing on Thursday Night Football this coming week, and
I wouldn't expect him to miss much more than that.
Just with the running back landscape being what it is, it's a hard guy to replace right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that offense is just hard to decide if you want to start anyone anyway.
Again, Miles Sanders, if you had him, you were playing him. He was producing even against tough defenses, and now I do not have him.
This is my nightmare.
So I got to run out to the waiver wires. A bunch of Mozambiques out there. Not going to help me at all. I got to pick up one.
Oh, man. Just looking at the waivers, you're like, just please be one little gold nugget. Just one little nugget of value on there.
Well, at least if you grabbed Alexander Madison, you had a guy you could start and get points this week, right?
Not so good. Not so good. I've been bamboozled.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Alexander Madison underperforming. The Vikings.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
So we have this button for the garbage time, and
I love trash.
Has there ever been a more zero-to-hero performance than Kirk Cousins for fantasy football this week?
Oh, we were definitely roasting him in our Yahoo chat. We were not fans, and we had the decision before, Cousins or Minshew?
So Minshew was also very bad.
Yeah,
so
it was a brutal start for both, and then it just went to Value Town later on.
It was
garbage time glory for
unbelievable
both of them.
For Kirk Cousins. He had negative points through almost the entire first half, and then
correct.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any
totally
dumber,
redeem yourself.
You go and do something like this.
A long gif again.
And totally redeem yourself.
Just let it run.
The longest drop in history.
So that was one of the big ones. Quarterback play of the week. Matt Ryan showing up. If Julio's there, I think you can play Matt Ryan with confidence, having a big day.
Yeah.
So
what about another big day? Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry
Holy
was
moly.
a beast.
He's back.
And
He's back.
he looked strong. He looked powerful. He looked quick.
Yep.
He's the fastest guy alive.
And he
Over
was
200 yards again.
Unstoppable. People did not want to tackle him.
And in our league, again, like I mentioned in another podcast, we get bonus points for over 40-yard touchdowns. So just the bonus points he got us for going over 100 yards and the long touchdown. Oh,
I don't think he needed the bonus points after his other 50 points.
Good.
If you started Derrick Henry, if you drafted him highly, he came through for you on this one.
The problem is I have Derrick Henry, and I still may lose this week because I was playing against Justin Jefferson.
So Justin Jefferson, the rookie, having a day.
Holy moly.
We did have a follower who asked us about starting, would you go with Myles Gaskin or Justin Jefferson? And you leaned Jefferson, I leaned Gaskin. So why I went Gaskin, Jordan Howard was a healthy scratch again. He's been looking good. He's getting volume. I thought he'd get some goal line touches. Myles Gaskin actually had a very nice day, but he did not have a Justin Jefferson day.
He did not. Jefferson with 9 for 166 and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
And a 2-point conversion.
He's the fastest guy alive.
The 2-point conversion, just a little cherry on top. Just, here you go. Thanks for starting me.
So I was listening to another podcast that they're big fans of the Justin Jefferson touchdown shuffle dance. I hate it. I hate it.
Not a fan?
No, I think it's because he's on the Vikings.
Man.
So being Bears fans, you just got to hate the Vikings. But kind of don't like it. I don't know. Weird. It's a weird thing.
I'm a fan.
It's not natural looking. It bothers me.
It's been a couple weeks, but we're going to have a little return of the Arnie Palmy.
Oh, I got it. Here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Arnold Palmer alert. Arnold Palmer alert. Who wants some Arnie Palmies?
Oh, so you got Arnold Palmer in a can?
Oh, so good.
You better let him out.
In a can. So good. So good.
All right. So we are also, for those of you that are watching us, if you're checking us out on YouTube after the fact, not with us live on the Twitch, we're watching the Monday Night Football game tonight. We just finished up the Kansas City game, and now we got the Cardinals versus the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll be talking about that game while we're talking about the rest of the week.
The Dackless.
Yep.
Dallas
So
Cowboys.
Andy Dalton, we picked him up in our joint league as our second quarterback. We've also, as our starting quarterback, got Kyler Murray. We've pretty much locked up the week, but hey, it's always nice to get some extra points.
As a Zeke owner, what I like to see is Dalton is 2 of 2 for 4 yards. Zeke Elliott, 2 receptions for 4 yards. So
There you go.
Just
So
keep targeting Zeke.
when in doubt, just
No
give it
problem.
to Zeke. Zeke's good at football.
I do have a small wager on Zeke scoring the first touchdown of this game, so fingers
Oh,
crossed.
boy.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. I did have a larger wager. I did have a larger wager on Travis Kelce to score the first touchdown
Oh.
last game, and oh my goodness, did that cash in?
That is
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah,
Great
taking that one to the bank. I like it, and now I'm hooked. I'm going to keep betting for the rest of my life.
And that's how gambling addiction happens.
And
so
that's how it happens.
you're on the
That's
Fantasy Addicts.
exactly
We try to
right.
keep the addictions purely fantasy football.
Yeah.
But all those other ones that ruin your lives, if you got that, you can talk to us about that in the chat too.
Yeah,
We're here for you.
We'll join you on that journey as well.
Yeah, the road to recovery.
Tonight's game, Kyler Murray, slow start, 3 for 6, 12 yards, 1 carry for 7 yards. Larry Fitzgerald, 2 quick receptions for 11 yards. Pocketbowl. Did you break even yet after yesterday's Green Bay debacle? Yeah, no, I doubled up.
It was a hefty amount on the Travis Kelce. bet.
Yeah, it was a large wager on the Kelces, so it worked out all right.
Chang.
Well, that wasn't even a drop. That was just you.
I just did it.
Just
Sometimes
creating noise.
I create drops
Man.
just with my brain.
Just impressive.
Yeah, we do it live.
We do it live. That is correct.
So
But in the earlier game tonight, CEH.
Yeah, let's talk
150
about
plus
the
yards,
Kansas City game.
26 rush attempts, few catches.
Clyde out there living the dream before Le'Veon Bell comes in and takes away all the opportunity. No, he did. He looked good. He was running. He had some big chunk runs. They were running the ball a lot in Kansas City. I think that was my takeaway from the game. The Bills, their defense has been, mid to decent, and they have a soft run defense. They play that the Tampa 2 cover defense where they kind of bend, don't break. And they bent and they bent and they bent and they bent until all of a sudden there was no more room to bend and then
they broke.
and then Travis Kelce would get a touchdown.
Oh, thank goodness.
Travis Kelce very good in that game. I believe he had 2 touchdowns, a number of receptions.
He's just
CH was showing up.
Unstoppable.
What do you say? He had 150 yards rushing.
150 plus yards.
So
yeah.
that's pretty
I didn't see
great.
the final stat line here, but it was.
Daryl Williams, I
least
think,
150.
rushed for a touchdown. So other running backs were getting involved. Robinson actually had a pretty good game. The guy who, if you took a chance on, I know that on the Footballers, Jason was talking about he liked Mecole Hardman. I also liked Mecole. Sammy Watkins was out. You thought that this might be a game where he could get that big play. And I think because of the defensive scheme of the Bills, it might have hurt Mecole a little more than I had anticipated. But he did not have a big game, did not have a big touchdown. So if you ended up playing him,
and I said
you're
they stopped him
disappointed.
on the fumble. I'm not sure.
On CEH.
I thought they overturned
Clyde
it, didn't
had a fumble where they called it back. He was down, so he did not get that fumble. But, that was one of the
Kelce.
Kelce also, he did have the fumble after a reception. That was towards the end of the half, and then the Bills ended up missing a field goal, so he forgave himself and he came back and he continued to
forgave
play
himself.
very, very good. Yeah.
It's okay.
Travis Kelce's good. He's one of those guys that it's like, if you make a mistake once in a while, we're gonna keep playing you.
Josh Allen didn't look very good though.
No, he had a couple plays.
Diggs salvaged an okay day, but
Stephon Diggs had a nice touchdown, so I know you're a Diggs guy, Diggs owner in Dynasty. So that was a real nice catch where he kind of dragged his toes and caught the ball, a couple feet outside of the end zone. But again, had his feet in, so counted it.
It counts. We'll take it.
No, it was a nice catch.
But yeah, Josh Allen disappointing the last couple weeks, but hopefully he can get back to form because he started out guns a-blazing and it was fun to watch.
So if you want to talk about disappointments, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills running backs.
I think just you're disappointed by a committee and you're disappointed by both committee members.
Being bad. Zach Moss, I've been holding on to. He did come back from a toe injury. He missed the last couple weeks. I thought he was actually going to play last week. He did not, but I've been, again, hurting for running back. So I'm like, hey, They liked him in preseason. His first game, I think he had about 11 points. Maybe this guy can get out there, get some yardage, get some goal line carries, hopefully get into the end zone. And he did not. He let you down.
He did not.
I think the comment I made in our group chat for our league was it was like watching actual Moss. It just was slow and boring and bad.
Yeah, and really, Singletary started out kind of hot. He had a couple nice long rushes to start the game.
And then disappeared.
Just fizzled out.
I think he ended up with like 6 points in certain formats, and Moss had like 1 point. So the running backs, not good, I think. And here's the thing. So if you have been playing Singletary, he's had some pretty good stretches, some good games. The Kansas City defense is good against the run. And I think another thing was if you didn't watch the game and you think, oh, Moss played and that hurt him, that's not what happened. He just they got behind, not by a lot, actually. They were kind of in it for a good chunk of the game.
They
But
just couldn't get anything rolling.
Couldn't get things to work. They couldn't string together good plays.
Couldn't get a first down.
Yeah, so Tremaine Edmonds, IDP league I was playing against, had a big game. Let me look up how many points exactly he had. But
and when we move on to less depressing things, we can talk about Deshaun Watson's day of 335 passing, 4 touchdowns, and also 26 rush yards.
Deshaun's not dead. He's still
not
good,
dead yet. Back-to-back good weeks after Bill O'Brien is now gone from the team.
I heard a rumor that perhaps he was sandbagging so that would happen. And now he can play well again.
That's fine. I'm okay with it. I still have him on my team. Everything's going to be fine. Ryan Tannehill salvaged a good day, 364, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, but a really good day there. He's only 68% owned in leagues. So
Tremaine Edmonds had 8 tackles and 4 tackle assists against me there, but all I need is 4 points out of Budda Baker. So I
think that's manageable.
Big defensive star that I picked up, I spent the most money in our auction draft. Budda Baker, Arizona Cardinals safety. I gotta let the Buddha soothe you and give me those 4 points for the win.
Ethan said he can win another 200 if Arizona pulls this one out. So we'll be rooting for Arizona tonight.
Just a degenerate gambler.
Julio Jones had a really good day, 8 for 137 and 2 touchdowns.
Julio, yeah.
Including one long 40-yarder. So
I know a couple people benched him because they're worried about him coming back from injury. He had that game he played in, and he missed time, went out, and he looked good. He looked healthy. He helped Matt Ryan. Yeah. Calvin Ridley got in the end zone. When Julio plays, Calvin Ridley scores touchdowns.
Right.
Julio does everything else, even though he did score touchdowns in this game. And then Calvin just takes a touchdown.
And I says I just need Christian Kirk to not score 39 points.
I like it a lot.
Hopefully we're rooting for Arizona, but hopefully it's just not.
If it's going to happen, it's going to be tonight. So I have the first chance that I've had all year to win all 5 of my leagues. I'm competitive in all of them. I need 4 points out of Budda Baker. I need Kyler Murray to have 10-plus points.
What's up, Marcio?
And I basically locked up the other one, the one with Nick and I where we co-manage. We are handily ahead. And, still have like our quarterback.
Actually, I'm leading all mine as well, so we could have a clean sweep.
Oh, that's why you watch the show for these guys, the guys that win the leagues. That's who you want to hear.
This is what success looks like.
Yeah, there it is.
Now you know. You have a mental image.
Treated ourselves to some new microphone covers.
That's right. So. Well, I just won that bet, so I could splurge a little on the $5 microphone covers.
Expect the production value to just skyrocket.
Yeah, I mean, it's all smooth sailing from here. Phillip Rivers back from the dead.
The 3D experience will be coming out next week.
3D?
4D.
4D.
5D.
All the Ds. How does he drop that? But thank you, because I'm starting the red rifle. Phillip Rivers not dead yet. 371 passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
We were making fun of Rivers being old and terrible all day, and then you read the stat line. I was like, "Holy cow!"
He's like quarterback number 5 on the week,
and a lot of it. Trey Burton getting a lot of those touchdowns, right? Trey have 2 of them.
Trey had 2. I think he had 1 rushing when they direct snapped it to him, and then 1 receiving. So
I'm not picking up Trey Burton, but
I'm picking up Trey Burton again. All the tight ends suck. You might as well start Trey Burton.
People thought he was going to be good for the Bears, and then he just never materialized.
They're as likely as any to get a red zone touchdown, or Burton's as likely as any other tight end to get a touchdown. I'm fine with it.
Marcio, hey.
You could do worse.
How's it going? Happy to have you. Welcome to the Monday night Fantasy Fix. Usually we call it Sunday the Fantasy Fix, but we thought you could use a little bit of extra fantasy. Yeah, again, we're working on the name and the
2
branding.
nights a week.
If you got great ideas for show names, feel free. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson,
open to suggestions.
Only 186 passing, still pretty poor passing.
Got another big rushing touchdown.
1 touchdown, but he did have 108 yards rushing and a rushing
had a little
touchdown.
shuffle pass to Boyle, so he's throwing for touchdown. He's getting you points. You were happy with his day.
He threw for 1. Carson Wentz somehow.
Carson Wentz pulled a Kirk
somewhat okay
Cousins
day.
light and just had a trash day all day, and then garbage time when people just thought, "Oh, this game's over. Let's stop playing hard." Carson Wentz is out there playing his heart out.
213 passing, 2 touchdowns, 49
And
rushing.
one of those
yards, and a
touchdowns
rushing
was
touchdown.
to popular pickup the Flugelhorn, correct?
It was, yeah, Mr. Foghorn Leghorn.
Flugelham.
And now with Ertz out, I mean,
I know. I've started to prescribe to your theory of the no Eagles, not now, not ever. I don't want them.
hey, but when it's all trash, Marcio, I'm not okay after the
I love trash.
Marcio, I'm not okay after the Packers game. In case anyone was wondering, good news is I still won after benching Jefferson. Thank God for Kelsey. Thank God for Kelsey. Indeed.
So, Aaron, yeah, taking a beating, man.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I'm glad that Tampa Bay decided to show up for that game and not the Bears
We warned
game.
you about Ertz. Exactly. They were warned.
Yeah, no, I had Ertz on my bench, so it's still, you don't
survived.
necessarily want your dynasty tight end to get an injury, but I don't know. Hopefully when he comes back, there'll be some more receiving help and they can open him up a little bit, but concerned about Zach Ertz. Man, at this point, if he's injured, if you have an IR spot, you stash him, but if you don't, I think you're just fine to drop Ertz.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think if you're in redraft for sure.
So talk about what is it? Frisker, right? Frisker, I barely even know her. Frisker. All right, so Frisker.
Yeah.
Let's talk. That is the tight end that you might want to go out to the
8
waivers
for 113 and a touchdown.
And
that's a big O day for
the
a tight
Titans.
end.
Really,
That's a Kelsey day.
Titans putting up a lot of points in that game.
What a crazy finish though at the end. I don't think you can rely on that finish.
The overtime. Man, just a coin toss could really make a difference in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But so it sounds like Jonnu Smith has an ankle injury. If he misses next week, he's a tight end that I'm looking to that you might be able to.
The thing
get
is, they
some more
weren't really
production out of.
utilizing Jonnu Smith early on. You know what I mean? They weren't really utilizing the tight end. Why would they be utilizing the tight end now?
Because that's what they did after Jonnu left, and he scored 1 million points, right?
I know, but I mean, I understand that. I just don't
They've
think
used Jonnu throughout the year. It's not like this is the first game they've thrown to the tight end. Jonnu's been good for fantasy. He's had touchdowns.
not so much this year though. I mean, he's had one good game.
No, he's had good games. You can look up his stuff, but they've been targeting him in the red zone. He's got a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I would temper
He's
expectations.
been
here.
one of the more productive tight ends. In
I don't
the
know if
NFL
I'm.
this year.
Are you straight starting Firkser next week?
I would. Yeah, I think I might.
Let's see what he plays.
If I could get him, especially
Against
if the waivers
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is tough. But here's the thing. Pittsburgh just lost one of their stud linebackers, Bush.
yeah.
So Devin Bush goes out. He gets an ACL tear. He's out for the year. I spent all my fab on him to get him in our league, but now the choice has been made for me, and I got to go out to the waivers and find a linebacker. I got a couple I got my eye on.
All right, I got another confusing person I'd like to bring up. Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones.
Another 100 plus yard game, 2 touchdowns, couple catches. He's looking for the drop.
Ronald.
Do you have one saved already?
Oh, I like that.
I got a couple.
I like it a lot.
A great success.
You know what it's called? It's called winning.
Wow.
It's called being a champion.
I couldn't be more happy for Rojo. He looked so good in that game.
Oh my god.
Oh, in prime time. I get it. I'd probably try and trade him now in Dynasty off of that performance, but it was almost so good to watch. Like, he looked good that I might even try and hold him. Like, so I might ride the lightning.
I'm actually gonna sing another tale on this for a second.
Oh, I don't like it.
I'm almost looking to trade for him.
Okay.
I think people are of that frame of mind, like, oh my god, I got to get this guy off my team now that he finally had a couple good weeks. Like, I can just sell him.
So the main reason that people would be selling is if you have that concern that Leonard Fournette's going to come back. Leonard Fournette put together that one big week, and I think that's the main redraft concern for Ronald Jones. Is like, okay, now Leonard Fournette's going to come back.
Here's the thing. I don't think they like Leonard Fournette.
I don't think they like,
and they don't owe Leonard Fournette. Like,
I don't think they like Ronald Jones.
I don't think they like Ronald Jones either. But I really don't think they are going to like Leonard Fournette long term. I could see him not being on the team.
Bruce
by the end of the
Arians
season.
hates Ronald Jones, is my theory. All the time I watch him, Ronald Jones, like, all the things you see about him, all the things you read about him, it's like he's killing himself, just working super hard, like doing everything he can, like moved in during the shutdown with a trainer and just lived
8
with
touches.
them. And like he's out there, he's running hard, he's doing everything they ask. And like if he just
one mistake,
just the smallest of mistakes, like you half whiffed on that block, like against Aaron Donald or somebody,
You're
like,
out of here
against giant monsters
You're
of
outta
men.
here.
It's like, nope, bench him. Give me Leonard Fournette. Can we sign Leonard?
Yeah.
Let's sign Leonard. Oh, did we sign Shady McCoy? Let's get it. Like, do we have
Anybody.
more? I thought it was going to be for sure Le'Veon Bell. Just how many old washed running backs can we get on this team? Todd
'Cause
Gurley.
we don't want to play
Todd,
Ronald Jones.
Get in here, Todd.
Here's the
Like,
thing: if you can get Ronald Jones for a discount because people were trying to unload him while he had a good game, I wouldn't mind paying a small price for
So
him.
I actually talked about on our last live stream, I was desperate for running backs. Ronald Jones is one of those that I think is actually good, but there's enough worry that you might be able to get him away from an owner because they're not just clinging to that running back who's producing for him yet. And I offered Juju Smith-Schuster for him, and if I had made that trade and it went through, the guy refused it, and I thought, like, wow, you're going to not take Juju
for Ronald Jones.
for Ronald Jones? Like, I thought it was an overpay, and he did not take it. And to his credit, Brandon, if you see this, he looks like a genius because Juju had, 4 points? Juju had a bad week,
bad.
and Ronald Jones
Claypool had a good
was
game.
a juggernaut.
Yeah. So some interesting position changes here. Like with Claypool kind of taking over now and Ronald Jones like showing some skill and maybe Leonard Fournette is struggling a little. I don't know. Could be interesting.
Yeah, and Leonard had never, like, he had that one good game, but you didn't ever feel like, oh, this is definitely
You didn't have a
his
stranglehold on the
backfield.
job.
No,
Yeah.
you thought it was going to be like last year.
I thought it'd be a
for
timeshare.
the Buccaneers, where it's just maybe this week it's this guy, maybe it's the other guy. Similar to kind of how the Patriots have been in the past, where they're all, they can all have a decent day, but you don't know which guy's going to have it.
Right. What about DeAndre Swift? 14 carries, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Speaking of DeAndre Swift and the man we were just talking about, Ronald Jones, I made that offer in the league.
And
I offered
Hopkins,
DeAndre Swift off of a big game for Ronald Jones and have not heard back. Don't think that that's going to be accepted. But that was the kind of thing. I think I'm trying to trade away Swift.
Okay.
I heard some good analysis today. I think it was Mike Teglier for the Fantasy Pros talking about the share of touches still isn't very good, and there are going to be a lot of games where the Lions don't have a large share of rushing touches to pass out.
So DeAndre Swift, he still only played like 30% of snaps.
Yeah, his percentage of snaps isn't good.
Like it's been the same every game.
Some of those stats that you look at to kind of see if it's for real or not. Yeah, the percentage. Again,
Well,
just the opportunity he's going to have. He did a great job with the opportunity he was given, and if he can be efficient like that, that's great. But
the thing is, before he was getting 30% at snaps, and he was getting the ball 25% of the time, and now he's getting the ball like 60% of the time. So if the amount of times he receives the ball,
60% of the time, it works.
It's not exactly how this works.
I think
But
that's perfectly timed drop.
I could see his play increase going forward.
Yeah, and he's a rookie. If you're on
I
that
just don't know why they
team,
didn't use him
again,
more.
Let's go with just narrative straight.
Yeah.
So you're the Lions, and Matt Patricia's the worst, but even he has to realize he's been in the league. He knows football. Is it better for your football team if you're presumably going to be the coach again next year to have Adrian Peterson be really good this year and develop and become a well-rounded player,
right.
Or is it better to have your highly drafted rookie DeAndre Swift become a well-rounded, well-used player who you're going to have on the team for a number of years because he was a highly drafted rookie?
Yeah, and you have a great coach with Adrian Peterson.
There's so much more reason for the coach and the organization to want DeAndre Swift to be the guy.
Yeah.
And maybe you're a little bit in the back of your head, know that you overused Kerryon and got him hurt and wasted him, and you don't want to do that. But here's the other thing. The Lions probably aren't going to make any kind of run at the playoffs. They're not going to have any kind of I could see them saving him a bit instead of just fully unleashing him if they were a contender.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, back to some studs. Will Fuller, 6 for 123 and a touchdown.
So again,
and he didn't get hurt.
Very happy with that. All the times you played Fuller, except for that one game where he had the weird stretching on the sidelines, he's been good. I'm continuing to play him.
NIU says the Lions don't typically develop talent. That may be true. They either
Lions
come
suck.
with it and they siphon it out of them, or
well, the Lions got the win, man. They came up against Gardner and the Jags, and the only guy on that team that you wanted to have in that game was Keelan Cole, correct?
Yeah, Keelan Cole had a big day.
Yeah, it goes for over 100 yards.
I think he had 100 and let's see.
Their running back Robinson didn't have a big day, but he did get into the
143
end
yards
zone, I
on
believe.
6 catches. That is a big day. No
So I was
touchdowns.
very psyched that I benched Ertz for Keelan Cole. If you had asked me at the beginning of the year, hey, you think you ever bench Zach Ertz for Keelan Cole? I would have said, who's Keelan Cole? But here we are. It's a funny fantasy world we live in.
That it is. Okay, CEH at the end of the day, 161 on the ground, 4 catches for 8 yards. So in our league, that's 26 points. That's a good day. Also in the same ballpark there, T. Higgins, 6 catches, 125. Are we seeing an emergence here from T. Higgins?
Yeah, I think you are. T. Higgins is, we've talked about him in the past, but we'll recap. T. Higgins was a fairly high draft pick for the Bengals in the NFL draft. If you're doing rookie drafts for your dynasty leagues, he was going in that late first, early second round. He actually fell a little bit in ours because people were worried that maybe A.J. Green would still be the man. A.J. Green, he had an okay game, but he is not the man. Don't pick up A.J. Green.
8 for 96.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Don't pick up A.J. Green. Get rid of A.J. Green. If you have A.J. Green, you can trade him for a
Get
kicker.
him.
Get a nice Lutz on your team. Go get that
Pocketable
Zerline.
says Zach Ertz for a ham and cheese Sandy.
Deal. No, I mean, Zach Ertz in
Wait, you want the ham and cheese Sandy or you want Zach
in
Ertz?
redraft, I'm hardly dropping Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad that I need to drop it. But in Dynasty, I think you hold, you keep him on your bench and you hope for brighter days. With his contract situation also, he could end up on another team next year. And that could make a big difference for a guy. So I don't know what would be a great landing spot
What
for
about
Ertz.
George Kittle and 7 for 109 and a touchdown?
George is a beast. He's the best guy on that team, the best offensive piece by far. If you got him in the tight end slot, you feel good because it's hard to find tight ends that consistently produce, except for another guy who had a big game. Kelsey,
Really nice.
I am a big advocate of taking Kelsey high in drafts.
I might take him in the first round next year.
I could see it. It makes sense because, again, you can find running
find
backs has
wide
been
receiver
hard this
value
year, but you can find wide receivers. Again, there are all kinds of guys that are doing better than the guys you drafted with your second, third, fourth picks.
No, if I'm rounding out the first round like 12 and then I have the first pick of the second, I'm going running back Kelsey and probably not looking
I
back.
like the running back Kelsey. Again, if you get just an early pick and you can get Travis at in mid to late second, that's where I like Travis. But
yeah. Dubbert says, is Zach Ertz droppable? I have Goddard on the same team in the IR slot, so I'm pretty much done with Ertz redraft.
Yeah, honestly, I would drop Ertz if there are better options. So that's the thing. So right now, Ertz is injured. If you have to stash one of them in the IR, Goddard had a much better game that one game early in the season where he was the top tight end.
And he's going to be back sooner.
Yeah, and he'll be back. I'm not 100% sure that that's accurate, but they should be back around the same time.
Well, they say Goddard can come off the IR for this next coming week.
Okay. So, yeah, I would probably hold Goddard over Ertz if you have to choose for that IR slot. If you have another IR, just throw them both in there because Ertz will be – if he has not yet been declared, he will be declared out probably before that Thursday game, so Wednesday at the latest, so you'll still be able to make
honestly,
pickups.
Somebody else will pick him up, and they can just be a bench clog for them.
Again, they'll throw him in the IR slot until he comes back, but
maybe.
It's not impossible. Last year, he also had a rough start of the year, and then he came on late at the end. Things can change for that team and the guys that will come back. If Alshon comes back, if Deshaun comes back, I don't like either of them for fantasy, but they do change the dynamic of the team. Carson Wentz showed that he has some fight left in him still. But, yeah, I think if there are guys out there that, even if you want to kind of stream the position a little bit, you just pick the matchup. There are guys out there that I would definitely like to start over Zach Ertz.
Right. Wentz did look better. I mean, still not a great stat line, though. 21 for 213 and 2 touchdowns, and it was a lot of garbage time as well because they were down by so many points. But he salvaged a decent fantasy day. I wouldn't.
Yeah, and Wentz has proven in the past to be a good quarterback, so you gotta put some of it on just the.
Yeah, but he's got no line.
That's exactly. The line is bad. They're all injured. His wide receivers, there's nobody.
Exactly.
If Flugelhorn is your first read on your wide receiver core, you're in some trouble.
Well, and I think that's the bigger takeaway here is with Ertz gone and Goddard maybe still hobbled a little bit, they're gonna have to throw it to somebody, and it's probably gonna be Ward and Foghorn.
I don't like it.
Alrighty. Next on the list here. Actually, let's talk about Joe Burrow for a quick second. 313 passing, one interception, no touchdowns. Are you panicking if you picked up Burrow?
So no, I think if you're playing Burrow, you were going to the waivers. He's a guy that you might want to look at the matchup before you just plug in if there are other options you can grab and play. But yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals, you got to feel bad about just how they lost that game. They were up, I want to say, 21 points. And
You blew it!
Oh, Rivers, just old man Rivers, just hobbling back out there every couple. Like
Marcio, we trash Winston Rivers all day.
Oh, man.
I will continue to this podcast.
they deserve it. Like, so
They're garbage. We don't want them.
The best comment, like one of the ones that's stuck in my head that I love, is just someone that has a TY owner that had continued to play him. Is just all I see every alert is incomplete to TY Hilton, incomplete to TY Hilton. Like TY got targets all over. What did he end with? One catch on the day. Oh man, TY is another guy that it has not gone TY's way. If you took him, if you still have him, I don't know what you're doing holding on to TY, clinging to hope. But
Yeah, drop and pick up AJ Green.
yeah, you must have been a fan from his earlier years in the NFL because it's been bleak for TY.
He's DUN done. AJ Brown.
Dun dun dun.
5 for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Nah, nope, don't do it.
No. Hard pass.
Don't do what?
Hard pass.
AJ Green.
AJ Green? No, definitely pick up AJ Green. He's a stud.
Figure him out with a decoy.
Don't like it.
TY's teammate sabotaged his touchdown. Yeah, he saw it and wasn't going to allow it.
No.
TY.
Nobody on that team wants T.Y. Hilton to score.
Just retire.
Yeah.
Be done.
No, we want Paris Campbell and
All right. Here's Trey Burton's place on the list
Pittman
here.
Jr. to come back and be the guy.
1 rush for 1 touchdown and 1 yard. 4 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown. I think you can roll him out there. Why not? How many guys do you like more than Trey Burton right now?
I like 7 guys more than Trey Burton.
Yeah,
right now.
so start Trey
I
Burton.
don't know. Yeah, and if he, no, I like.
You just
Dogman.
answered it. James Conner, 101 on the ground, 1 touchdown, rushing, and then 1 reception for 1 yard. So
Probably like 14 guys better than Trey Burton. But
14. You just said
I
7.
thought about it some more, and I again, the elite tight ends, I don't even count in that group of like, would you like to play this guy? Nah, I don't want Trey Burton.
Dubber says, ew, this play was disgusting. What's the play?
Let's see if Mo Ali Cox comes back next week also. That might hurt Trey Burton.
Please don't say Zeke Elliott gets hurt.
Nope, don't do it.
Baby Gronk over Burton. You gonna start
Gronk, your man with a touchdown. Take a
Whoa. I think he's talking about Baby Gronk from our Miami Dolphins. What's that man's name again?
Gesicki?
No. The other one.
So let me just talk about how angry I am.
He just fumbles the ball right there.
Gesicki just goosed me, man.
Now I can't. Wait, what?
I have been just the worst at picking a tight end. I have Hayden Hurst and Mike Gesicki, and I pick wrong every week. And I played
Shaheen, there it
Gesicki,
is,
who ended up getting me. Oh, Shaheen.
I immediately regret this decision.
I should not have played Gesicki as he scored no fantasy football points and just really devastating. Is this
They've
Buda
just
Baker?
completely forgotten about him. Just holding there. Okay, moving on. Tom Brady, okay day, 2 touchdowns, but they were just smoking the Green Bay Packers, who didn't do anything. Brandon Cooks, 9 for 68 and a touchdown. Do you buy into it yet? Do you believe me?
Yeah, man. If Cooks is out on your waiver wires, pick him up, throw him on your bench.
No, throw him in your lineup.
You can throw him in your lineup, but definitely if he's out there,
That was Buda Baker
you want
that
him on your
caused
team.
the fumble.
So Buda Baker already has, let me tell you, a solo tackle, a tackle for a loss, and a forced fumble. So Buda wins me the week. I beat Chris. Running with a Chubb, you have been defeated.
Suck
so
down.
sorry.
Packers D with Swiss cheese. They were brutal.
Yeah.
Marcio, I'm leaving. How dare you? I have Hunter Henry in one of my leagues. Don't even complain. Derrick Henry was nice.
Yeah. So the Packers were a surprise at how much they got beat by. Like
Yeah,
their
they're
offense
bad.
has been good. Their offense did not look good. Aaron Jones couldn't get going for you. Tanyan, if you started him, he ended up with like 4 points.
Yeah. And he got hurt for a little while, too.
Yeah, Devontae Adams had, I want to say, around 60, 70 yards, no
Marcio's
touchdown.
still upset. I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it because our Bears won, so no problem there. No reception.
Great success.
DeAndre Hopkins, I thought he caught one and got a first down. Unless they called it back. Alrighty, Travis Kelce, we're here on the list. 5 for 65 and 2 touchdowns. There you go, Marcio getting banned already. We get it.
Just giant
Let's
caps
move
lock
on.
profanities. Oh, sorry. Hey, we like cheese, though. Cheese is
I
good.
still like cheese.
Cheese all day.
Well, I don't like cheese as much as you like cheese.
So here's an interesting stat. Kyler Murray, 12 pass attempts or 12 pass yards, 3 rush attempts for 31 yards. And he's got 3.58 points in this full PPR. Again, obviously the PPR doesn't matter as much for the quarterback.
Still more than Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. So I am down. Let's see. I need about 5 or 6 more points out of Kyler Murray to win in this other league.
He just got hurt.
There you go. Oh, that's all right. I think he picked up on that rush maybe. But
I don't think that got you 4 points. Kenny Galladay, 4 for 105. So not a ton of receptions, but went over the century mark. Tim Patrick, 4 101. Calvin Ridley, 6 for 61 and a touchdown.
Calvin, yeah, my guy.
You can let off the
Keep
panic
getting
button.
points, Calvin. Keep getting
Julio
the points.
comes back, and Calvin's good.
But with a C.
Exactly.
We didn't have Kamara didn't go this week because they had a bye, correct? So
Correct.
there you go.
Correct.
We're using the Alvin for Calvin until I find something better for Calvin. I
We'll
thought
get
about some
accusatory
Riddler
in
stuff,
here.
like riddle me this, riddle me that, but I don't want to stretch. I don't want to stretch for these drops.
Gronk, though, 8 targets, 5 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown.
Hey, Gronk. All right. Great tight end or greatest tight end?
Yes.
Man, just adds to the legacy. Him and Tommy out there. That's what you wanted to see this season.
So
That's
OJ
what you
Howard
tune in
gone. You have like 4 weeks of warm up. We basically after the preseason now.
for. And they're doing it to the Packers. What
And
is
Gronk's
better
back.
than watching just Gronk spike against the Packers? There's nothing better. Well, that's why you watch football.
No, it did feel good.
So good.
Sorry, Marcio, to keep harping on this
Nope,
game.
that's all I want to do.
I just
if
wanna
you tune
talk
in to
about
be
that.
verbally abused as a Packers fan, welcome to the show.
Dubber, did I miss you guys talking about the Steelers? Who can you trust on that passing game? Claypool and Johnson, maybe?
I think if you
do not
picked up
trust starting
Claypool, if you
Juju.
started him off of those other points, he got you another touchdown. You probably, laid the matchup, fire up Claypool
I think you
again.
can probably just chase the points again.
I think you can still play Juju. He's going to have touchdowns. He's going to have better days, but you don't feel great about it. He's not. If you have better options, you could pivot. Crowder ended up only having about 10 or 11 points in a PPR, so still
here's
better
the thing,
than
though.
Juju.
Who are you starting over Juju Smith-Schuster right now?
So Crowder is a guy on the Jets who, Jets. You hate to start a Jet,
Are you
but
starting?
if you're starting any
Are you
Jet-
starting Foghorn?
No, I'm not.
You're not starting Foghorn over Juju?
No, I'm not starting Cole over Juju.
Okay.
Again, if he has a really tough cornerback matchup or something, he
T.
plays out of
Higgins?
the slot a lot of times. So like Justin Jefferson's a good example of a guy I might play over Juju if they have, depending on matchup.
Okay.
T. Higgins, depending on the match. Like some of those rookies with a
Paga,
high
that's-
upside.
I think that's the question I'm asking right now. T.Y. Hilton or Juju?
Oh, Juju. T.Y. Hilton is he still on the team? Like,
Yeah.
oh, him and Rivers are just looking at retirement.
AJ
homes.
Green or Juju?
No, not AJ Green. Never AJ Green. Juju. I'd take T.Y. Hilton over AJ Green. That's where I'm
I'll
at.
take the first option over Juju. I think for here. Okay, Adam Humphries, 6 for 64 and a touchdown. He may have been a DFS pick at best because I don't think anybody's starting Adam Humphries, right?
No, I think he's had some good games where, like, if you're looking for somebody on the waivers, if you're in a deep league, you can play Humphries and he can get you some points. Juju, but Juju could easily come out and have a 25-point game and you feel better again. Like, he's got the potential. He's a talented guy. He's young. He's on the Steelers, who their defense, again, it's going to be a little bit hurt by Bush being out.
I think Juju's still good, but I think Claypool's just better now.
I think
I'm
that
taking
there
Claypool.
are a lot of mouths on that team. They're good guys. If Deontay Johnson's back, he's talented. Claypool's good.
Here, Juju
Washington
or,
actually
Juju or
had-
Claypool.
So James Washington, I want to talk about for the Steelers had, I believe, 16 points in that game and a touchdown. So
But
James Washington's out there. So they're
but
just going to
Deontay
be
Johnson's going to come back.
There are going to be weeks where whichever guy you play, there's definitely the potential that one of the other guys has the big day, and you get a 2 or 3 point game.
If you're going to try and buy Madison, I think you can get Madison for a lot cheaper than Juju because he had the job and didn't perform. And I think he could perform if he got the job again. But yeah, I think you can get him for real cheap. Dubber, I'm loaded in this team. I have Juju. It's between Juju, Devontae Parker, Damian Harris, Darius Slayton, Justin Jackson.
Those are all like interesting.
Yeah.
Just level pieces where
But
none of
also
them are just
could
the,
be droppable.
the plug and play instant starts. I think any of them have the potential to give you a big game, and they have the potential
Loaded
to
with
let you
crap.
down.
says
No,
Baca.
that's not a like. Those are great players. Those are great. Like,
There could be some.
if you
some
could
value
trade
there.
2 for 1 somewhere though, and you could upgrade like Justin Jefferson off his big day and Juju's name for, and you're not gonna be able to get Julio off of his big day. I'm trying to think of some of those other top wide receivers. If you could get like a Tyler Lockett maybe.
Dubber says that's just my flex spot. Yeah, no,
Gotcha.
I did figure that. And Damian Harris didn't do a whole lot in this Patriots
No,
game. But they were
again,
down
I'll
from
talk
a
about
lot.
Damian Harris because I was watching
Yeah,
him.
go
I've
ahead.
got him on a team, and I didn't start him because of the Denver Broncos. They have a strong rushing defense. Sony Michel being gone on the IR twice over, that I think gives you confidence. If they get a good matchup is when I'm wanting Harris. But they're giving him the ball. They trust him. He's the rusher. He's going to be the goal line guy. That whole game for the Patriots was not good. It was low scoring. Cam wasn't very good for the majority of the day. He did get one big rush that kind of it didn't even save his day for you. You were unhappy if you played Cam, but their wide receivers had bad days. N'Keal Harry was 0 points, so he goosed you if you played N'Keal Harry anywhere.
Yeah, he was not.
Edelman wasn't good. Just a bad day all around for the Patriots. The Denver Broncos defense is legit. They have a defensive-minded coach. And
McManus is legit.
I think they're going to be brighter days for all of your pieces on the New England Patriots.
You lose to 6 field goals.
But yeah, they've been going through some stuff. We got to get their coach. He'll figure it out. And they'll make the playoffs, and then they'll.
I just don't think this Cardinals line is very good at NIU.
It's bad.
Drake,
It's a bad
Drake
line.
isn't good either. I don't believe. What are they? Are they just going to direct?
Doing some weird shifty stuff. Their whole offensive scheme, as far as the running game goes, hasn't
just
been good.
They drops you right off the chest,
but yeah,
never lucky.
should have thrown it to Larry Fitzgerald.
tell
Larry
Mike.
Fitzgerald catches that ball.
Larry
Hopkins
Fitzgerald
still though
does
has
catch
been
the
very
ball.
good for fantasy. He was the number one wide receiver going into this week for fantasy production. So Hopkins, I don't have to tell you to start him if you got him, but
No. Are you starting Gronk, by the way?
I
picking
could
up-
see a world in situations in which I consider playing Gronk, but I'm not doing it.
I like where we're going.
But he had a touchdown. You can't argue with the touchdown.
That is true.
I love Gronk. Gronk's the best.
Debo Samuel, 6 for 66 and a touchdown.
666.
Lots of sixes.
Debo.
You starting Debo?
No, I made a deal with the devil so he can get his health back, and it's probably going to expire next week. That was
enough.
maybe the upset. Like my most shocking win of the week was the 49ers beating out the Rams. The Rams didn't look very good. Cam Akers was 0 rush attempts, which is
He only had 1 snap.
he was active for that game. I'm hoping against hope that it was just a rib injury, and so he wasn't really healthy, and it was just kind of like in an emergency he can go. But that's concerning. I could see people dropping Cam Akers. If they do you pick Cam Akers up?
No.
All right, even if you just have, again, I think if you have a spot on your bench, if there's a guy that you're not going to play a wide receiver that you don't really use, who's been decent. So a guy that I did drop, who I was conflicted, I dropped Jerry Jeudy, and part of the reason was he had a bad game. He only had like 5 points fantasy. He's got some tough to mid matchups going forward. He hasn't been the number one read, the target monster that I hoped he would be. Patrick had a good game, so Tim Patrick has shown up and taken carries or
Christian
taking
Kirk
receptions.
with a touchdown.
Christian, he's starting that giant 34 points to beat
39.
you. 39.
39 points.
So hopefully he only gets 34. But
And I lose my Zeke bet. Never lucky.
Devastation.
Wish
You
I could
can't
win
them
one of
all.
these.
Just the one. Bet on Kelsey. That is a great strategy for fantasy football and betting. Just bet on Travis Kelsey.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see Edmonds more in this game. Ooh, at least we got the Christian Kirk touchdown with a little
Little
shovel
flip
pass.
to him. So the best runner on that team, Christian Kirk.
Kirk would have paid better. Kirk would have paid a lot better. Somebody should have told me to pick Kirk in that battle.
Kenyon Drake owners, if you've still hung on to hope, I think that you can just the tears of infinite sadness as they stream down your face, you can just go ahead and drop him.
So I'm going through these names. There's a lot of people here that nobody started on this list. Nick Foles, Trey Burton, probably most people didn't
So we
start.
got a question about Cam Akers. I think that if you have a better option, that's kind of always the caveat, but Cam Akers, my hope is that it was a health thing and he comes back and he gets more involved and they work him in. But I think it's going to be more of a slow burn, a build to production, than it's going to be like he comes back and next week he's healthy and they plug him in and he's the guy. Darrell Henderson has played well enough to hold that spot for them to trust him, giving him the ball.
Here's the thing: if Henderson or Brown get hurt or just are completely phased out, then I would consider picking up Akers. But if all running backs are healthy, I just don't think they're going to give him the ball yet.
Again, if he's there and he's healthy, especially if maybe not if Malcolm Brown, but if Darrell Henderson, if something goes down with him, he has had injuries in the past. He was banged up at the start of the season.
Well, the thing is, he's not getting on the field at all. So it's not like he is not doing anything with his opportunity. He's not getting any opportunity. So what's the point of holding on to him?
So I would drop him for a guy like Damian Harris. I would drop him.
Absolutely.
Trying to think of some other running backs that maybe any running backs that might be out on the waivers that look good this week. Though I looked at ours, and one of the highest scorer was Frank Gore. I'm not going to get Frank Gore with his 11 points on the Jets.
Boston Scott, DeAndre.
So
Swift
Boston
are
Scott
hot
is
pickups.
a good name to mention just because Miles Sanders is hurt. Boston Scott had an opportunity at the start of the year with Miles Sanders not there. I think he had 11 points, but he kind of got an injury, went out. He's a guy, though, that if you're looking for a desperation play, he should get volume. He's going to be the main running back on a team.
I agree, Pocket.
Let's see. What would Pocket sell us? Got some insights?
Avoid all Rams. Backfield's a mess.
I think if I can grab Darrell Henderson, I feel pretty good about it right now. If he was on the waivers, I'd pay a lot of fab to pick him up.
What about J.D. McKissick?
J.D. McKissick, he got some volume. He's on the Washington football team, who's not been good. Antonio Gibson's there. I don't want McKissick unless I'm in desperation.
Well, here's the thing. Here's his last 4 weeks. 4 targets, 8 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets.
So we ended up with, read us the fantasy points.
5.5, 6.5, 6, 8, 11.5.
Chat's bringing up good names. Jerick McKinnon, I played him. He only had like 4 or 5 points this week. Didn't do well. So talk about the other guy. Do you know his name off the top of your head?
JaMychal Hasty.
Hasty. So Hasty was a guy.
I just dropped him this week.
You had dropped. What was it, in Dynasty?
I believe so, yeah.
So they called him up from the practice squad a couple weeks ago, and there was injuries. He got a good chunk of touches at the end of that game.
Yeah, he had 9 carries.
Jeff Wilson is also hurt.
Yards.
So I think that McKinnon is a good, if you've got him on a team, if you held him. I did hold him. I'll probably play him if I need him.
How much longer is Coleman out?
Coleman is not going to be good when he comes back. I hate to say it, but if you disagree, feel free to tell me that Coleman's going to be good. But he wasn't looking good before he got hurt.
He's kind of one of those things. If he gets the role, he'll be productive. But I don't.
Anybody that gets the role has been pretty good so far.
That's why. That's what I say. It's just I think it's a slightly better lottery ticket than any of these other practice squad guys.
Yeah.
I think it goes Mostert, Coleman still.
But again, let's say Mostert's out, Wilson's out, Coleman's out. I think that you can pick up, if you're looking for the waivers, a guy that might get some time. It's going to be, say his name again.
JaMychal Hasty.
JaMychal Hasty. So JaMychal Hasty is one that you could,
That's because he's the only one left.
You could glory play. But McKinnon's there, and McKinnon has looked good at points in this year, but he hasn't looked good the last 2 games.
McKinnon's a pass-catching back.
They say that, but then, again, when they played the Dolphins and they were down, they didn't start just throwing it to McKinnon the whole time. So they're one of those backfields that's tough to kind of predict.
Gus Edwards last.
But I like McKinnon. If McKinnon's out there, I'd pick him up.
Gus Edwards last 5 weeks, 10 rushing attempts, 4, 9, 7, 14.
So the Gus bus has gotten attempts, but they haven't been real valuable. He hasn't got a ton of fantasy production. The guy that I'm going for is J.K. Dobbins. If he's out there, a lot of leagues he is not. One that I am in, he is out there. I have a claim on him. So I'm blowing. I think I have like the 5th or 6th waiver priority. I don't think I'll get him, but and the reason we say that is because Evan Ingram had a bit of an injury. It sounds like he's got a chance to play. He might play through it, but if he has any level of injury, if he has a chance of re-aggravating, if Dobbins could be the guy on that team. Here's a side note, though. They have a lot of really tough matchups.
Stop fumbling the ball, Zeke.
Yeah, don't do that. So
actually, that league I already won.
The Ravens have a lot of tough matchups as far as run defenses coming up. They play Pittsburgh a couple times. So that is something that, again, they got a tough road. So even though they run the ball a lot, it's going to be interesting to see how the Ravens deal with some of these upcoming tough defensive matchups. Who shines?
Darren Fells, last week, 2 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. This week, 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Picking up Darren Fells?
So the other tight end on that team has been injured. Remind me his name. You know it off the top of your head?
Jordan Akins.
I personally stay away from Texans tight ends.
Okay.
It's just been one of my philosophies. I don't think that they utilize the tight end a ton.
Yeah, they used to in the good old days.
Just can't rely on them. Like, it's just never schemed for the tight end. It's always like, oh, this guy just happened to get a couple. But I don't know if you're looking. Those are guys you can look at. They're not guys that I want.
Okay, no, I'm in agreement with you. Miles Sanders, 9 for 118. 1 catch for -6 yards.
Yeah, I think if Miles Sanders is healthy, you play him, but it sounds like he's not going to be. So hold on to him. Don't drop him because of the injury. He's going to be back hopefully in 2 to 3 weeks. I've seen the projections that it doesn't sound like. Again, I haven't seen the actual results of his MRI, but that might be in the news if I haven't seen it. If you know exactly what Miles Sanders' kind of prognosis was.
I saw that they're expected to miss multiple weeks.
Okay, so it didn't sound like a season ender though. So I hold on to Miles Sanders. Hopefully, again, I think the Eagles could be a team that gets better as time goes on.
He's done it 2 weeks in a row now, right? Because the week before he had like a 70 plus 70.
Yeah, so he's got that big run break.
And then
potential.
he fumbled it right at the goal line.
So both those weeks were against tough defenses. So if he can get against the softer matchup, I think that's been part of the Eagles' problem as well, as they've had some tough games.
Marcio, here's the thing with Beasley. I don't think he's ever going to go off, but if you need somebody to flex just to get you points, if you're like favored by a lot and you need somebody that's not going to goose you, I think Beasley's a fine point.
Note about Beasley is that John Brown, their other good wide receiver, has been banged up. He played in this game. He got utilized, but that could factor into if he comes back a little healthier and gets a little more involved, that could hurt Beasley.
Marcio, insert Frisker, I barely know her joke.
I have been all day.
Because says, what about Frisker, dude in Tennessee? If Johnny missed his time, he had 8 receptions. You must be on like a 2-minute delay. Because, I think we're picking up Frisker. I think we're both
and we're making that joke every week. He is relevant.
Yes, we are. So we hope he stays relevant. What about some not so good? Devontae Freeman, 18 carries, 61 yards, and 1 catch for nothing. Only got you 6 points.
You might be able to cut him free, man, because he has not been good. I don't like Devontae Freeman. I don't like the Giants. I don't want the Giants. I don't want the Jets. I don't want the Eagles anymore. I'm just adding to the teams I don't want any pieces of.
Jarvis Landry, 3 catches, 40 yards.
Jarvis, he's been banged up all week. He's been questionable. He's tough. He plays through stuff. The Browns, let me see if I have this for you out there.
Sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
The Browns with 7 total points of offense, and they got rolled, man.
Dubber, sorry I got here late tonight. My bad. No, you're all good. I feel like so every question you've asked.
How dare you miss the Frisker joke?
We just moved on 3 people, and you're like, hey, what about this guy?
Barely even know her. I barely even know you anymore.
I thought maybe it'd be a stream refresh.
Come on.
Beckham Jr. or Juju?
Oh, God.
That is a rough one.
No, but I think that. Oh, is that Kyler?
I think he's short. Drake's going to get a garbage touchdown.
Yeah, give Drake a garbage touchdown. The Drake hunters need it. If you had stuck with him, he did get you a touchdown last
Devontae
week.
Parker, 3 for 35.
So, Devontae Parker,
8 targets, though.
Has never been my guy. I never believed in him. He's had injuries throughout this year. I think that, here's the thing, Miami's actually shown some signs of, like, they look not terrible.
They don't look bad.
And compared to what they were last year, Miami was kind of the team that everybody wanted to play last year.
OBJ is a suck bag.
Yeah.
No.
Old busted
Juju
Junior.
Marcy posing with the Juju TikTok.
I think they're similar in that there are going to be games where you're disappointed, but they both have the talent and potential to put up big points in a week. So
there it is, pocket with a Drake 1-yard scamper. Just couldn't get the touchdown.
Thought he had it there.
No, he was going to be short.
But that might be enough to put me up in that league with Kyler. So I believe I'm going to win all. Let's see.
All righty. Let us move on.
So
Julian
the only
Edelman.
one that's kind of left in contention, I've got 4 out of 5 basically locked up. I need CD Lamb to outproduce Michael Gallup minus 7 points. So again, Gallup can have 6 less than CD Lamb. I will win all 5 of my leagues this week. Go ahead and just put your clapping and your admiration. You can address your fan mails.
No, they all left. I'm looking at the viewers now. They all left. All right, Baker Mayfield, kind of a pooper. 9 points.
At least it's not Kirk. Yep, Kirk does
10
not get
completions,
in with the touchdown.
119 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 picks from Baker.
Baker was bad. I have not held him anywhere. I've been advising that you don't play Baker Mayfield all over the place. Again, if you get a perfect matchup, Baker, I don't know. Again, there's talent on that team. Kareem Hunt didn't have a great day, did he?
No, they didn't really have the ball over.
No, that just
that was the big problem.
Man, the Browns. Don't trust the Browns. That's been.
What about James Robinson? Are you panicking on James?
He got
Robinson?
a touchdown, correct?
He did get a touchdown.
He didn't just ruin your week.
No, but 29 rush yards. He did get 4 catches for 24 yards. But
yeah, they're using him a lot. He's the main guy on that team so far. So until somebody else comes back and takes the job from him, I think that he's probably the best option you have on a lot of teams, especially if you're looking for your second running back.
You picking up Michael P. Ryan at all?
Nah. Next question.
Nah. I like it. Just short, simple, sweet. Mark Andrews, 2 catches.
So tell him who
yards.
Michael P. Ryan is.
Yeah, he's the backup to Frank Gore. And
yes, he is the running back. He's a rookie on the Jets, and I don't want a rookie on the Jets.
Do you want any Jets?
I want Crowder.
Are you still?
Crowder. Yeah, he had 11 points. I think you can use him and feel pretty good about it.
Not interested. Yeah, Kareem Hunt here, 40 rush yards, 2 catches, 17 yards, 7.5 fantasy points. Not so much. Crowder did have 7 catches, but only 48 yards. What about Jonathan Taylor? 55 receiving yards, but only 60 rush yards. Worried at all about the rushing totals for Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah. I think that if you've got Jonathan Taylor, you're concerned. You want to see more. You thought that when Marlon Mack went down, you thought that you hit the lottery, and you hit like a $5 scratcher.
Yeah, exactly. You hit a pretty decent scratcher. That's what you hit.
Yeah, I think that. Let me see. I'll try and find my drop for him.
We need more dogs.
There you go.
Joe Wacko for Flacco looks so bad. Crowder will be better with Darnold.
I saw a stat that
Maybe.
Joe Flacco is over Johnny Unitas on the all-time passer list, and is like just behind Joe Montana, like a reachable amount of yards, like 200 more passing yards to pass Joe Montana on the all-time passer yards list.
I mean, he's been in the league forever.
Unbelievable.
Forever.
It'd be a travesty if he passes
made an
Joe
entire career on one Super Bowl that he didn't really help win that well. Mark Andrews, 2 for 21. Panicking?
Yeah. I think you're panicking. No, I think you got to just keep playing him.
I mean, last week he had 6 catches, 56 yards,
tight ends
and a
are
touchdown,
like that, man. Even if you got a good tight end who's not Kittle or Kelsey, that happens where they just didn't get the touchdown that week. They didn't get the looks.
The Ravens just have been scoring points in weird ways that
They
haven't
have been.
been
It's like,
super fancy helpful.
Is there like even Lamar? Like none of them have just been like, oh, I got this Ravens player and I'm psyched about it. He's great. Every time I play him, he's winning me weeks.
Right.
The backfield's been, kind of committee-y.
Well, the thing, Lamar takes all the rushing
Gus
yards
Edwards,
and
like,
can't throw the ball at anybody.
How many
to
people
have
are
a
secretly
relevant
hoping Gus
receiver?
Edwards just really rolls an ankle and just doesn't play anymore?
Marcio says he just needs more water.
Yeah.
Maybe just get him more water.
Lamar's been good. He had a good game. He's, he hasn't.
That's only because he had 108 rushing.
He hasn't
yards,
devastated you, but he hasn't been the 90 points a game Lamar of last year that just won you weeks all the time.
He's either regressed or people have learned how to defend his passing because it's been.
Well, he's still been very good
dreadful.
for NFL. Like the Ravens have been winning games.
But not clean. They've been winning games.
Winning them good. The
because of their
Eagles,
defense.
don't be fooled by the Eagles' sort of comeback where they had no actual chance of winning that game. They were never going to win that game.
Lamar Jackson has been pedestrian. He's been bottom 15 in the league this year.
Not at all. Lamar Jackson, as far as fantasy points, he's got to be in the top 10.
I'm not saying fantasy. I'm saying real life football.
No, I disagree.
Only
What's
reason he's fancy
the Ravens' record? Are they
Okay, here's the thing.
5-1? Or
I know this is going to be one of your, but it's not like that. If you took away rushing points for quarterbacks, he'd be bottom 5.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
You don't take away those points. That's
know.
a huge part. It's a huge piece of why Lamar is good for fantasy football is the rushing yards. He had over 1,000 yards last year.
Let me know. I just posted it for your pocket. I don't know if that link will work, but we might have to get you.
Join the Discord and tell Nick that he doesn't know anything about Lamar Jackson. Lamar's good.
Fitzpatrick had 3 touchdowns yesterday and only got me like 18 points. Yeah, he was just throwing the ball everywhere. He didn't really have a whole lot of yardage either.
Oh, he had some rushing. Fitzpatrick is just one of those guys.
Pollard in the game. That's not good.
Well, I don't know. See how it goes.
I also have Pollard. Are they going to bench Zeke for Pollard?
The
after 2
Cardinals.
fumbles?
So here was the other thing. Andy Dalton. We talked about him being in a good spot. He's on a good offense. The defense is bad. Like all the things that were good for Dak are pretty good for Dalton. Dalton's not the worst quarterback in the world, but he is a primetime. Trying to think of a way to say this. Crapping your pantser. He just disappears in prime time. He's not good. That's the narrative. Not even big games, just prime time. So Monday Night Football, Sunday night, takes a shot there.
Wow. Andy Dalton just got smoked.
Buddha, let the Buddha soothe you.
Now you're just crushing
the
him.
Baker. All
Now
right.
you're just crushing him.
Sorry, Chris. Just
what about Adam
Tears of
Thielen?
infinite
He still got you a touchdown. He
Thielen's good.
actually got you a tackle in our league, but 3 catches, 51 yards.
yeah,
Just-
you're happy with Adam Thielen. You're playing
just
him auto
putting the
start.
blinders on to Justin Jefferson, stealing all your points.
Yeah, so that could happen, but no, Adam Thielen's still been very productive. Auto start. I don't know if there's maybe 3 or 4 wide receivers I'd start over Adam Thielen.
What?
Yeah,
Adam Thielen is in your top 5?
probably might be the 5th option of wide receiver that I want to play just every week auto play.
What?
What is his production? Where is he on the year for wide receivers? He might be around that, 5, 6, 7.
But here, Mike Evans, 1 catch for 10 yards.
But he's very consistent.
What about
He
that
gets points. Yeah, he doesn't disappear. I like Adam Thielen.
All right. Season total, wide receivers, all players, filter.
Adam Thielen, number two on the year. So, yeah, I knew he was up in that top five.
37, 6, 12, 31, 29, 16 and a half.
Yep, I like Adam Thielen. He's good. Good at football. Play
top
him.
3, top 4, you're saying?
He's the second on the year, so that helps support my argument. But again, I'd say 5. So the guys that are close to him, DeAndre Hopkins, I would start over him. DK Metcalf, I'd start over him. Calvin
Thielen
Ridley.
is a grinder, says
I'd probably start Thielen over Diggs in a lot of spots. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek had a little bit of a ankle tweak this game if you saw it, but I think he came back in. But I'd probably start him over CeeDee Lamb. I'd start him over Robbie Anderson. I love Robbie Anderson. He's been great for me. He was one of my guys, but I'd start him over Cooper.
3 catches for 20 yards in this game.
Yeah, he wasn't awesome. They ran the ball. It was fluky. That's not, I think, what Kansas City is
but
what
I think
saw
we're noticing a lot of sloppy games, though, aren't we? A lot of these football games have been sloppy and weird, and a lot of no-name touchdowns.
Huge buckets of garbage time this week.
Have you had to make as many start-sit decisions in past years that you've had to do this year?
No, and a lot of it's been due to injury, so I think that's a big piece of it. Is just the injuries have caused some of the consistent running backs that you could trust to be out of there. But Thielen is a grinder. A grinder.
Zeke owners must be happy with him staying on the bench. Not super happy with it, but
if he stays healthy,
I do have Pollard.
Zeke will be good. Don't worry about Zeke.
Zeke will be fine. I didn't think I realized that DeAndre Hopkins was
unless he gets
number
frustrated and punches a cocktail waitress after the game, he should be fine.
Alrighty, moving on. What about
so the Ravens are 5-1? Yeah, that's what I thought. So Lamar's been fine.
What about Robbie Anderson?
Robbie Anderson played the Chicago Bears. Tough defense. Their defensive backs on the Bears we were talking about during the Bears game.
4 for 77.
Looked good. Yeah, he got you, I think, around 11 points in some formats, and you're still getting you 10-plus points in a tough matchup against the Bears. I think you feel pretty good about Robbie.
Okay. I think that's fair. Primetime Andy Dalton in full effect, looking like doo-doo. I need points from Andy Dalton. That's the problem. So
Not up in here.
Okay, Zeke's back in the game. Everybody calm down.
Right.
We're fine.
It's gonna be okay.
Marcio, I am very happy with my opponent. He has Zeke and CD. Oh, pocket. We'll find out. Yes, because of Watson, Derrick Henry.
There's plenty of CD time left.
That's
a
smoking.
I'm a CD guy. I got him in Dynasty, so he's been performing up to the expectation. I think I've been happy with his year. I thought that maybe it would take longer than this having Gallup and Amari there. A guy who let you down a little bit last week and also hasn't had a big game yet as of today is Amari Cooper. So his narrative on him has always been that he vanishes for games.
Well, he's got no catches here so far.
Yeah. So what do you think about Amari Cooper just as a player in general, as far as fantasy implications? What do you do if you have him on your team? Do you have him anywhere? You don't, do you?
I have no shares.
All right.
Again,
what do you think?
It's such a productive receiver core that I honestly don't want any of the shares. I don't want any piece.
Yep. Marcio saying what I said earlier. Andy Dalton, not a primetime performer. Yeah, play him in the 12 o'clock games.
At some time he's just gonna have to send it though, right?
Oh yeah, still got to send it.
Let it fly.
There's Cooper with a catch.
Let's see if
the flag if it stands or not.
The one catch for no yards. We'll see. If
looks
that
like
one
it's going back. So Amari, yeah, I don't think you full panic on him. This has always been the narrative. He's going to have those games where he vanishes, but he'll come back and he'll have another game for 40 points.
What about Jimmy Handsome? 23 completions, 268, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Cooper, though, again, he had in the last game, he did have a tough defensive back that was covering him, shadowing him. One of the other narratives is that he's not great against strong shadow coverage.
They don't need Cooper. That's the other thing, too. They've
don't got other options.
They don't have to force him the ball like some other teams, like the Washington has to force it to Terry McLaurin.
Yeah,
they don't.
It's a good point.
It's not the same situation. They can just throw it to whoever's open, and right now it's been Gallup and CeeDee Lamb.
The Red Rifle left Cincinnati, but Cincinnati never left the Red Rifle.
That is pretty funny.
Oh, Andy.
That is pretty funny.
Oh, again, I got him picked up. So here we go.
We're on to Cincinnati.
I'm actually going to start him next week, regardless of how good or bad he plays in this game, largely because of the primetime nerves he must get, but also they have a softer matchup next week. Honestly, the Arizona Cardinals are not a tough defensive matchup as far as just defense in general. But let's see. Can you look ahead and tell me who they got next week? I want to say it's Mario Armour.
Well, we had to start him this week, or I had to start him this week.
The Dolt, the Rifle.
I had to start him this week because of Russ being on bye. Eagles next week, or Washington next week, then the
Washington,
Eagles.
okay. So Washington, Chase Claypool coming back from his injury. The last just is kind of a deep take.
And you makes a good point. He looks about as good as Dak does in the first
Yep.
half.
So it's all second half for the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing more exciting than coming from behind.
The problem is the defense is putting up the same performance.
Hold on.
That's the only issue.
I have a deep drop that I don't know if I still have anymore, but you continue. Fill the air.
Okay. Hayden Hurst, 4 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. I think he did it all on one play, so I don't think I'm necessarily rolling out Hurst anytime soon. Terry McLaurin, 12 targets. I think with Kyle Allen back in, they're going to keep going with Kyle Allen. The Alex Smith project is over after five sacks. I think he was done. So Terry McLaurin, 7 receptions for 74 yards. So still sending him out there. Mike, Mr. Consistency McCarthy. That's right. Cards D has 18 points for my opponent right now. Yeah, I know the I don't know why the Cowboys defense is so bad. I mean, they're just brutal.
Well, they did lose Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, but he was out all last year, too, and they didn't give up points like this.
Not 100% sure he's back for this game, but I think he's going to come back next week, if not this game.
I think they said he was back in.
So Leighton helps him out a little bit. Their pass rush, they haven't been able to get that
I hope he
going.
gets 35 in the second half. What about James White? 8 receptions for 65 yards.
If you need 10 points in a PPR format, James White is the man. He
makes people that don't start him pay.
There's a quote that I heard. I'll tell you what the quote was, and I'll adapt it to James White. So the quote was, there's a fullback on a team, and he told his coach, if you need 2 yards, I'll get you 2 yards. He says, Coach, if you need 4 yards, I'll get you 2 yards. And that is James White in a nutshell. If you need 10 points, James White will give you 10 points. If you need 15 points, James White will give you 10 points in a PPR. And that is a valuable player to have at certain points in the year. If you're on bye and you're looking for a guy and you grab James White kind of mid to late, grab James White. He had a good year last year, so he went
put
a
up
little
15
higher.
points in this game. So.
After this year, he'll fall back to where he usually goes. So those late rounds in PPR, grab James White, the safety blanket.
Philip Lindsay, 101 rushing yards, no receptions. Do you feel safe starting him if Gordon misses any more time?
If Melvin Gordon comes back, it's full abort for Philip Lindsay, and if he's gone,
Are you dropping him? You're not interested, like even as a handcuff?
It's possible that Melvin Gordon comes back before they actually hand down his suspension, because they'll let it go through all the legal channels, and you can maybe hold him in anticipation of a 1 or 2 game suspension. But man, I don't know. I've just never been a Philip Lindsay guy. If I had him this past week,
boom, long ball. To who?
Chicks take the long ball, baby.
Marcio, I'm done with Washington offense for fantasy. McLaurin and Gibson both done with the mess of a team.
Yeah.
McLaurin's been okay.
That's a good strategy.
He's been fine.
There have been a lot of teams, more so than in past years, where I think you can just
not again.
say no more of this team. I don't want this team. Teams with good offenses, their players produce more fantasy
Look at this,
points.
80-yarder to Christian Kirk.
Woo-hoo-hoo, Christian.
For a touchdown.
How many points has he got? 39 yet?
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh,
This is my nightmare.
That is hilarious.
I feel shocked.
Oh, it is the Christian Kirk
All right,
show.
will we let this update? Stephon Diggs earlier, 6 for 46 and a touchdown. Still starting him. Myles Gaskin still got some decent points here. 91 rushing yards, 4 for 35. Is Gaskin an okay start every week now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I think just the volume alone.
Especially if they keep sitting Jordan Howard.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this is his point totals. 10.5, 14, 14.5, 9, 20, 17.
That is a bomb, man. That is a full length of the
Portals
field pretty
back
much.
to the Broncos.
Kyler got an arm too. So that's a little thing that, we talk about his rushing, but Kyler can chuck the ball. That was a good throw.
Yeah, no, it was solid. All righty, moving on. Joe Mixon, 54 yards rushing on 18 attempts, 1 touchdown, 2 catches, 15 yards, but kind of got a little banged up in the process. Still rolling him out there?
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I think you're playing Joe Mixon if he's healthy.
Yep.
If he's questionable all week and he still plays, what's the matchup? Do you know that one off the top of your head?
For next week?
Yeah.
I think you're starting him.
I might.
Cleveland?
Yeah, you play him against Cleveland. No.
Play him against Cleveland.
Cleveland, not good.
Yep. They're not good.
They let up a boatloads of points.
Mixon, your favorite. Mixon is
a boatload of points last week.
Mixon's the guy I trade him away. Anybody I trade away, I know is just going to have a great fantasy career ahead of him. Beasley, as you mentioned before, 4 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown. So Cole Beasley on the season, 10 points, 12 points, 21, 12, 11, 14.5. Better than you thought, though, right?
Yeah. And Beasley is like that though every year. I feel like I never want him.
7 targets, 6, 7, 4, 6,
It gets late
7.
in the year, and they start talking about him as like a streamer, a guy you can grab, and those are good numbers.
He's all reliable.
The Bills, again, it's worth noting that John Brown has missed. John Brown, right?
John Brown.
Okay, he's just got one of those kind of simple names. It's hard to remember exactly.
Simple names.
But yeah, I think you can go with him, and I think you can take your Beasley points.
All right, Christian Kirk in our scoring format has 24.5 points now.
So if Christian Kirk's out there, I'll talk about how I feel about Cardinals players that are not DeAndre Hopkins. I think that any of them are capable of this. It could be Andy Isabella, it could be Christian Kirk. It wouldn't shock me if Larry Fitzgerald popped up with like a 20-point game here or there. But it's very hard to know besides DeAndre Hopkins who you can trust who it's going to be that week. And never play Dan Arnold, the postman, because they don't use the tight end. They
don't use him at all. All right, Beasley over John Brown so far. Yeah, I think again, same thing. If you need at least 10 points, I'd start Beasley. If you need like a boom bust game,
if you need 30,
if you need 30 or more,
go John Brown.
Going John Brown. I agree. All right,
makes a lot of sense.
Let's go through. I want to go through some more poopers because
I bet you do.
I feel like this week lacked in fantasy points again, and a lot of people were kind of let down. Like Juju with 2 for 6, Zach Moss 10 rushing yards, Chris Thompson 3 catches, 15 yards.
Zach Moss was bad.
Gesicki, like you said, complete goose.
Oh, Gesicki, icky.
OBJ 2 for 25.
Goose-sicky is.
Cooper Kupp 3 for 11. What about Cooper Kupp?
Hey, we got an emote thanks to
NIU
to KU.
Subscribed at tier 1 for their second month. Thank you very, very much.
Now we gotta keep doing this.
Huh? At least another month.
You give us the motivation.
We get to do it another month. He says,
he's desperate for reasons to drink on
weekdays. To get it off my screen.
We got to start the Thirsty Tuesday stream.
Gesicki. Okay.
Another
I'm reading all these poopers just off one team. What about Allen Robinson, 5 for 53? Kind of not what you were hoping for.
Hold on, we gotta check this out because this is a dog emote now.
2 months. I did 3 months. I think it'll show another one next month. You can just keep subscribing.
The dog emote.
We need more dogs.
I like it a lot.
We need another emote. I don't know. We'll take recommendations. We'll try and get anything made, whatever the recommendations are. Cooper Kupp 3 for 11. Are you full panic on Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp, I was playing against. I had Robert Woods. They had Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods got the touchdown. Cooper Kupp. Here's the little thing. If you weren't watching the game, Cooper Kupp was very close to a touchdown. It was out the side of the end zone, similar to the Stephon Diggs catch today. Had his toes down and just sort of bobbled it, like had it in his pinkies and couldn't come down with it. So if Cooper Kupp gets that touchdown, you feel a lot better about his week. But he has not been what you hoped he would be where you drafted him.
I mean, he's been tailing off here the last couple of weeks, but still to start the season, 8, 13, 30, 20, 14, 4. Last couple of weeks, a little bit of a letdown, but if he scores, you're super happy.
Good, not great, but he did disappear this past week.
He had Butterfingers on that play. Yep. This is my family now, says Marcio. Welcome to the family.
Happy to have you.
Like, where are the gloves for? I know. If they can't catch them with the gloves,
fellow addicts.
Can't trust them.
Hi, Marcio.
All righty. Moving on further. Some more poopers. Zeke Elliott, still 5 points despite the 2 fumbles. Tyreek Hill, we mentioned earlier, 3 catches, 20 yards. You're pretty disappointed in that so far.
Tyreek, again, watching the game live, he did come up on one of them with it looked like he tweaked his ankle. It didn't look devastating, but I don't know if that played into it at all.
Antonio Gibson, only 9.5 points, 4 catches for 25 yards, but only 30 rushing yards.
Oh,
that's pretty depressing.
Gibby.
Good luck, brothers.
Yeah, good luck starting him because he is not. Yeah, I think that was a good point. Just Washington, even Terry McLaurin now with the quarterback situation, it doesn't feel good to start Washington players. It doesn't feel as bad as a Jets player, but it doesn't feel great.
He had popcorn before the game. I mean, he just needs to take that out of his pregame routine then from now on. CeeDee Lamb on the night has 1 return yard.
That's not great.
That is not great.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
Again, they had a target where I thought he had CD. I could use
Marvin Jones
more than 1 return yard.
Thought you could get away with starting Marvin Jones this week. 2 catches for 8 yards.
Hey,
I think you can just full on drop Marvin Jones. He's 63% rostered. I'm done with it, right?
Yeah. Now full drop Marv. Maybe you miss 1 big game, but I think you're going to be better off.
Are you dripping?
Don't chase the
I'm
dragon.
dropping both by football team. What? So Foghorn Leghorn, I just want to touch on one more time. Do you say you are starting him with confidence?
No.
Not at all.
Now, again, I think you can start him and hope for the, just
OBJ
the volume
or
play.
Flugelhorn?
OBJ. I'm not an insane person. I'm not trading OBJ for Nemi Hines.
James White or Flugelhorn?
James White.
Oh.
I need 10 points. I don't need Flugelhorn. Again, there's gonna be a game where he just gets you 2, isn't there? Or 2 or less points.
Probably. Even with a 38-7 win, Ben Roethlisberger, 14 completions, 162 yards, and a touchdown. That's not going to lead into the promised land,
I don't know
right?
though, but Ben Roethlisberger feels like he should have 1,000 points every week with all the players that he's got on his team. James Conner had a good week. That's worth noting. He got into the end zone. Was it twice?
No, I think just once.
Okay, it might have just been once.
Yeah,
but
I think just had one rushing
James Conner,
touchdown.
you've been happy with as a running back. Just his health, just him staying healthy and being out there has been a good sign for your fantasy teams. But he's a guy. Any given week, he get hurt. Benny Snell had a touchdown. That's right. So
Wentz was just chucking jump balls to him the entire second half. He had 19.6 points. Ben got 10 points on my bench. Yeah, it was a rough day for Ben. Foghorn Leghorn, I'm starting him.
all right.
I'll flex him. I'm not. I mean, it is what it is, but they're throwing. Here's the thing: he still has a ton of targets. He's going to get a ton of targets.
And again, maybe one day Alshon and Deshaun come back.
And the thing with Claypool, they're using him all over the field. They want to keep using him because he's good.
I think
They're
Claypool.
like, oh, he's actually good. We're just going to give him the ball a lot.
Yeah, he looks good out there.
Yeah, they're using him a lot. He gets a lot of touches. I want
But it
him.
doesn't mean that, some of those other guys aren't going to have big games and big touchdowns. DeAndre Washington, a point that James Washington. Yes.
Which one?
The wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers that everybody forgets about, the ugly stepsister.
James Washington.
James Washington, again, had a good game. And
Yeah, but again, Deontay Johnson's coming back in the next couple weeks.
And that's the point I'm making, is that there's a number of guys on that team that have talent that can have weeks where then another guy's not going to have it.
I think this is a situation where Claypool is just that much better.
And they have not had a lot of weeks like some teams where all 3 of the guys out there have a good week. It's generally one guy has a good week.
I'm starting Claypool, no regrets until further notice.
Until you have regrets. Yeah, that's how some players are. You just ride the hot hand. There's a difference between chasing the points and riding the hot hand. And I think part of it is he is a talented player. You can tell by watching him. And again, his draft capital is there. His on-field percentage. But again, if he doesn't get that touchdown in that last game, you feel very different.
No, he still had a good day. He still had 74 yards receiving. I'll take it.
You don't feel great.
No, I feel fine. Mark Ingram, 5 carries for 20 yards.
Oh, Schultz making a catch in the game.
I know
Mr.
nothing.
Schultz.
Sergeant Schultz.
Sergeant?
So Dalton to
No,
Dalton
he's a
there.
sergeant. Mark, he's probably the only guy that's nice to him. That's why. Yeah, I think he just likes him and said, here, I'm going to throw you the ball, Juju's a dick, and we're moving on from him.
He's probably the only guy that's nice to Ben. Is that what I'm?
Yeah.
Where we're at?
Yeah.
I think people are nice to Ben.
No. Like middle school, he was the only guy to eat lunch with while everyone else hates. So
This giant Big Ben with his giant grody beard, just all alone, probably while he was injured. Nobody one day.
All right.
Oh, I like Ben.
I'm going to give you a name, and you tell me if you're dropping him or holding him.
I think those accusations are false.
D'Ernest Johnson. Hold or drop.
I gotta take a moment to comb my brain to figure out who Ernest
Running back
Johnson is.
for Cleveland.
Oh no, I was never
Chubb
on the
2.0.
never on the Ernest train.
Okay. Mike Gesicki.
Man, so Gesicki has had good enough weeks, the weeks I don't play him, that I'll probably hold him. So I've got him and Hurst.
The last
And I want to drop Hurst.
Here's the entire season: 4.5 points, 23, 8-2, 11.5, 0.
Yeah,
I don't think you can start him.
the other format that I had, that 22 point was like a 30, but
He's just going to
maybe
sit on
with
your bench
bonuses.
and just destroy you when you see his points, and you're going to start him and no more points. And I'm getting rid of him while I can.
Yeah.
Michael P. Ryan, he showed enough that I think I'm holding him for now.
So who are you picking up when you drop Gesicki? Trey Burton you want over Gesicki?
I
I don't like it.
no, I'd
Molly
take-
Cox is coming back.
I'd take Ferkser. I'd take
Berkshire for a week, I might do that, where I just grab him in spot, start him.
Yeah.
Hayden Hurst.
I'd rather have Trey Burton.
So here's a fun fact about Gesicki. His bye week is this coming week, so I want to drop Hurst, but I think I'm going to hold him one more week and play him because there's not a better guy on the waivers to start over Gesicki.
Yeah, no.
But how about Hayden Hurst or Gesicki? Who do you like better rest of the season? I need to know for a friend.
Seriously, I'm going Trey Burton instead, or I'm going Ferkser. I'd rather have those options. And really, Hawkinson, they found him on the goal line, but for a touchdown, but he didn't really do a whole lot either.
While we're talking about a Dolphin, Tua Tagovailoa gets in, and Hakwaka Hakapatui makes that's a fish in Hawaii.
Oh,
my brother says it better, but I think that's from Saving Sarah Marshall. We might have to get that drop in there for the Tua drop, but
well, now you're just not doing anything.
I hope that's not racist. I didn't mean for it to be. But anyways, Tua gets
now
in.
Everybody's offended. Now we can't put this on YouTube.
Pocket Pool easily offended, I'm sure, but he's from New Lenox. They're the worst offenders. But
all right, Eric Ebron. You dropping Eric Ebron?
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
Rex Burkhead.
Yeah.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Mecole Hardman.
Man, I thought that. So, again, I wasn't the only believer. Jason, again, I'll bring him up from the Fantasy Footballers, was a big believer in Mecole this week. I believed because Sammy Watkins is out, and I thought that it would just open up targets for him. And really, the thing I didn't see coming was Robinson. It was Robinson this week. They used him on the under. Right. Mecole Hardman is like fly route or nothing. They're going for all or nothing, the bomb, the Hail Mary. If you want a Hail Mary, get Mecole in. And if he doesn't get it, I thought maybe they get him more involved. He's this is his second year on the team. Right. And they did not get him involved with
2 catches,
Sammy
33 yards.
So no, I'm
actually no. That's 2 kick returns for 33 yards, 1 target, no receptions.
Mecole is a great if you just need a. You're
and
saying there's a chance.
He only played 39% of snaps, where last week he played 71, the week before 48. It's just inconsistent.
Don't drop it like it's hot, but go ahead and drop him.
Wait, what?
So don't drop it like it's hot.
If I listed them, I'd be in last place in every league. Listen to who? Fantasy footballers are horrible at fantasy football, in my opinion.
So here's the thing: being a fantasy analyst, as you know, a professional fantasy analyst as we are, fantasy football is tough, man. And if you can find a guy that tells you 100% of the time the right move to make, watch that show. But it doesn't.
Well,
exist.
Here's the thing: if you're trying to pull off a show, even like this, you have to make calls. You have to make decisive lines. Like, this is my guy. These
people are looking
people.
to you.
Exactly. And if you're wrong,
their house is on the line.
And if you're wrong, you're a dick, and if you're right, then you're the hero. You know,
you're not even the hero. It's like, all right, now tell me my next guy.
If you don't take a line or a stance, then you're just talking.
No.
So
what the footballers do that I admire is that where all of their picks may not be correct, they entertain. So it is just but they are the best at what they do. So I'll give them a lot of credit. I like watching their show. I enjoy it. I'm a fan. But yeah, really the best thing you can do is look at the analytics, look at the odds, give the narrative for why a thing should happen. And if it doesn't, Mike Gesicki should have been good. I should have had 1,000,000 points and he wasn't good. That's just, a kick in the nuts. Another thing I like about them is, like us, they're out there, they're playing, they're living and dying with you. If I'm telling you to play a guy and I got that guy, I'm probably playing that guy too. And we're all in the same sinking ship together.
Pocket says, fantasy football addicts are the only pros in the game I'll listen to.
There you go.
We'll take it.
All right.
We'll take it. Oh, they're getting chippy in the game now. A little fight before half.
Yep. So
Dallas making a good run to get 3 points on the board.
Yep.
Finally.
And we hope to lead y'all to the promised land.
Does it feel good to be a champion? Yeah. Yeah, it feels good to be a champion.
Either that or we'll be there to pick you back up again, right?
Yeah, well, we can all just drink through it. NIU.
Like you're trying with the field goal. Marcio, I mean, you can listen to 100 analysts, but ultimately it comes down to you. That's how I effed up last year. Yeah, I think, honestly, if anything, I can listen to the computers to tell me, hey, this is what we think is going to happen, and then make your own decisions based on that.
I am a consumer of fantasy podcasts. I watch a ton of shows. I read things. I listen to podcasts. Nobody believed in Robbie Anderson like I believed in Robbie Anderson. So again, sometimes you got to go with your gut. You got to, believe your eyes.
Well, also we're fans of the game. If you're not a fan of the people on your team and who you're starting that week, then what are you doing anyway?
Yeah, but again, at the same time, you can't just fall in love with the guy and think that you were right. Once CJ Uzomah tore his ACL or tore his Achilles, I had to be out on him, even though I was hoping he'd just make the miraculous comeback, the quickest recovery of all time.
They picked up Robbie in 3 of 5 weeks.
So there's your obligatory CJ Uzomah mention of the show.
Scotty Miller, Pick a hold or drop.
So, Scotty Miller, I've never been in on. I'm not chasing that kind of possibility of him being okay. A guy I will talk about if you're a dynasty player, Tyler Johnson is a wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I heard, it was interesting. I was watching the broadcast live. They said they had a 3rd round draft grade on him in this NFL draft, and he actually fell to, I believe, the 5th round. He had a touchdown in this previous week, so if you were like, who is that guy? He is a rookie. He was talked about before the actual NFL draft, and he might have more upside than people realize. So if you're looking for like a deep stash in a dynasty, Tyler Johnson, a guy that just a name to know.
I think there's so many targets there already that Mike Evans goosed you this week. I don't think
that is the largest knock against Tyler Johnson is that he is buried on a depth chart where he probably won't get opportunity again. Even if you just want to mark him, a lot of these apps will allow you to just have a watch list. If you just mark him in your dynasty as a watch guy, follow his career a little bit, see how Tyler Johnson develops.
Like, just taking out my just admiration for the man, I think Gronk is probably actually the one piece I'd feel more confident in starting going forward because I think they'll look to him in the red zone. I think Brady will just key in on him on the red zone, and otherwise I think it's just going to be super inconsistent for the rest of the receivers. It'll be good weeks. But
basketball fights are the worst. Just saying, yeah. Or just shoving. I got you.
Oh, I don't know. The Ron Artest going into the grandstand fight. That
it was like the old basketball fights. Now the new basketball. LeBron hold me back.
Not
fight.
The new basketball. If you guys haven't seen the Ron Artest into the stands fight,
and basketball should be the best because there's no padding to get in the way. You should be able to just pop a guy.
But that's exactly why it's they don't want to actually get hurt.
I don't know, man.
Baseball is usually just a pile up. Yeah, you get a rare, really good fight in baseball, but not very often. Usually you just come and push the other guy, and then you just hope that the old coach doesn't fall down and break a hip is usually what it is.
No, yeah, I would say I feel like baseball fights are the worst.
Let's go pull the shirt over the other guy's head. Yeah, those are the good moves.
Again, there's no better chance to see an old guy get pushed on his face than a baseball fight, but no, I think baseball is the most hold me back, bro fights. But
actually,
hockey 100%.
The Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan fight was hilarious. Have you seen that one?
The one that always comes to mind for me for like a baseball, and it's not even necessarily.
No, this is football.
Not necessarily the best fight, but like, it was the Cubs pitcher Farnsworth, and the guy charges him out, and he just spears him and destroys him. That's my favorite like baseball fight moment.
Yeah, no, the Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan one is a classic. Okay, Laviska Shenault.
Happy to have you, Marcio. We'll see you again next Sunday. We'll be doing it live, so hope to see you there.
They're coming back.
It's just a mild break?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me if you're taking a 5-minute break.
I'm taking a break.
We do appreciate you. We rely on you for the chat.
Leaving would mean they're leaving. Jeez.
I'm trying. I'm doing a lot of things here.
Laviska Shenault.
I feel shocked.
3 catches, 10 yards.
Let you down, not very good. I could see dropping Laviska. I could see holding Laviska. I think
Marcio's
it depends on
back.
your lineup. All right, well.
You guys need to YouTube Mike Milbury in the stands fight. I think I've seen that one. I'd have to look it up to remember exactly which one, but
Marcio,
I've watched a lot of these.
Little cheese break. I get it. Might go for
one
one myself a little later.
She started thinking about the game last night and started crying again. So just had to recover.
I know Marcio told us that she's a girl, but I'm still picturing like the discount double check guy from the Aaron Rodgers commercial.
Was it Dove, the guy with the tier 1 subscription? Thank you again.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the show.
It's a guy with a guy's own shoe. That one I gotta watch. I gotta rewatch it.
I like it a lot.
Just gain all types of subscribers tonight. It's just nice to see.
Oh, hey, we're living the dream.
Welcome back.
We just need about 1 trillion more before we can quit our day jobs and come. We'll stream every day, all day.
Yeah, invite your trillion friends.
We'll just live in a streaming bubble.
So here's one thing on Laviska Shenault.
Tell me more.
If you want to actually try and go get him, he still played 82% of snaps. He still had 7 targets, but only had 3 receptions. So it's more like miscommunication, maybe just a bad day versus phased out of the offense for a game.
Yeah, Laviska was nursing a hamstring all through the week. So
we can have 2 emotes on Sunday. I know. I gotta find another emote.
He wasn't full warrioring for us this week, but there are brighter days. I think that again, the Jaguars are a team that is also a little bit of a kind of who's going to be the guy to get the receptions this week. But Laviska, he's out there. He's a battler. He's a grinder.
Yeah, no, I still like
I'm a fan just of the player.
I still like the snap share and the targets. I'm good with it.
So he's also a guy that, it's good to get him on your radar now and then kind of watch him a little bit so that maybe next year he kind of takes on a little bit bigger role. It's tough for the rookies.
Damian Harris, hold or drop. Only 6 carries for 19 yards.
I'm holding Damian. And he's one of those guys that's just Patriots backfield. There's going to be a week where he has a big game. Again, it happened for Rex Burkhead. I believe it could happen for Damian. He's got a lot of talent. I want to say he was drafted in the 3rd round 2 years ago? No, 1 year ago. So the Patriots, man, they're tough this year. They are tough to know what's going to go on.
Again, it's not just them. There's a lot of teams in that same kind of category of just confusing.
But he's basically the starting running back for the Patriots, and he's talented. That's, I think, where I buy in.
I agree. I mean, the door is open. It's just whether he's going to be productive or not if we're going to use him.
We've talked about it, but their matchup was very poor. So if he gets in a good matchup, I think that it's very easy to – what is coming through on this?
Oh, that's just the chat.
What is the chat icon that guy has?
Don't worry about it.
Anyways.
Pocket Bowl, Sony Michel will be back after he gets off COVID list. Yeah, he's got 2 IRs to come off of. But I think
Sony's not been good, man, for the past 2 years.
If Damian Harris can actually get something going while Sony's back, then
I think Damian Harris is the better running back.
Sony did rush for over 100 yards when he was in the last game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not nothing. All right, last one here, or Cam Akers, hold or drop.
Cam Akers is a guy that I would be okay with holding. I would love to see another week if you're able to hold on to him, if you don't have to make moves. The bye week's coming up. I could also see, man, it's going to be something that it could easily come back and haunt you. But if you want to hold on to, let's say you've got like a kicker who's produced well, there are a lot of other guys you can pivot to. Young Ho might be out there. He had a great week. McManus for the Denver Broncos, right. He could be out there. He's had 2 great weeks in a row. So I could see dropping your kicker and just grabbing one of those guys and riding it out. But let's say you had Will Lutz or Tucker and you wanted to hold them. I could see dropping Cam Akers to hold them. If you have a great defense, if you're, if you have a great defense you want to hold on to, I'm trying to think, what have been the actual top producing defenses throughout the year? Has it been Chicago's been good? Colts have been good.
Will you tell me if you would still like to have Marvin Jones on your roster?
No, I'm dropping Marvin Jones.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
We talked about Marvin. Marv. Starving Marvin. Starving for points because he's got none of them. And no thank you.
I agree. All right.
So Pitt's been good. So Pittsburgh is a great example where I would drop Cam Akers to hold Pittsburgh while I started another defense if I needed to. Again, those bye weeks are all spread out for different players, but play Claypool in the flex. That makes sense. I think you can ride that.
So Bambo, wave. Not to ignore you. What's your other flex options for this coming week? Pitts or Pocket? Pitts, Indy, Steelers, bet. Baltimore.
Indy let you down a little bit, but their good linebacker was out, Darius Leonard. So I think I'm actually going to try to hold Indy on a couple teams.
Man, that's a rough one.
That is a legit choice I might have to make. I might have to drop Cam Akers so I can hold Indy in a league. And I probably will.
Who do the Ravens play? The Ravens play the Steelers. Yeah, give me Claypool. I think Claypool's got the best chance of scoring a touchdown.
That's interesting. That's a tough matchup. I probably pivot away from Claypool if I have a better option.
Well, that is the other option. It's Hollywood or Ruggs.
Oh. I did pick up Ruggs. I dropped Jerry Jeudy to pick up Ruggs. I think Ruggs might have those big blow-up games, and we just haven't seen it yet. And I think once you do, he's another guy that people might not know about yet, where if they find out, like, oh, man, Ruggs had a 30-point game. Who is this guy? It's like, oh, he was the first wide receiver taken in the NFL draft. If you can spin that yarn a little bit, you might be able to flip him for something useful.
I think by week 10, you're going to want Ruggs on your roster. I don't think you necessarily need to pick him up now, but if you wait like 2 or 3 more weeks, I don't think you're going to have the chance. Somebody will get him.
Yeah, and so Jerry Jeudy is a good example of a guy who I think has had opportunity. And again, the rest of the season is tough against wide receivers.
We got block back, and you still didn't see any gain for Jeudy.
They're not a particularly good offensive team. Yeah, so again, he's a rookie. It takes time for guys.
I'm going to start Claypool over Hollywood, I think. I got to drop someone to keep Tucker, who I just got off the wire last week. All right, let us know who your most likely candidates for drop are.
Yeah, I'd be curious because I think that's a good move. I think it's a savvy move to pick up one of the top 3 kickers when the guy drops them. If they do drop them for a bye week,
Can't believe I keep dropping. I got to keep a kicker. Yeah,
no,
I mean, it happens.
I honestly don't hate that. It's got to be one of the top kickers because again, you could find a McManus or a Young Ho or somebody like that on the waivers and throw them in, and they could be your guy. But kickers are fluky. There are some times where a kicker you never heard of ends up having 15 points, and a guy that's great has 3.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the kickers. That's why we phase kickers out of a lot of our leagues. So if you are a commissioner, or if you got a league that you have some sway in, get rid of the kickers.
Just get rid of them. Get them out
Drop
of
it
here.
like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Okay. Let's see. Bambo says my biggest mistake is having my 2 best running backs both on bye week 9. Who do you think is a good person to go after? Honestly, I go after J.D. McKissick.
I might drop Freeman to tell you the truth.
My bench is Drake, Font, Breeze, Edmonds, Freeman, Harris.
You know what? If you've got good if you've got good running backs and they're both healthy, some leagues that we play in, we force people to start people in their lineup. Sometimes if you talk to the commissioner and say, hey, and the reason that we do that is some of our leagues, if you tank, you can get like a higher draft pick, or you can get different advantages if you tank. And we want the league to stay competitive where it's not like a guy just gives up after week 4. Nick is the king of giving up right away if a team doesn't win the first week.
That's not true.
Oh, we lost 2 weeks in a row. We lost week 1 and 2. Full tank. I'm already planning for next year.
So the league that we're in,
We've tanked every year after like week 3.
that we co-manage, it's a 4-person keeper league. So it's like almost all the way to dynasty because 4 people is a billion when you're talking about, good players in the league. So we had to tank to secure some assets, and it's fine. We're in really
we
good
tanked
shape
too
now.
early last year for sure.
We did. We didn't.
He
at
thought
all.
Mike Evans was washed like the one day he goosed you, and then we
But
traded
here's the
him
thing: in
away.
the playoffs, they all sucked anyways. We would have lost.
To your credit, like we have a very good team this
Yes,
year.
we do. Pocketball, I have Rojo, Robinson, Johnson at RB. Lost Barkley to injury. That's a rough one. Yeah, I get rid of one of your running backs. I'd probably drop Harris. I don't think
The
anybody's
point I was
pick
going
him
to
up.
make is, let's say your team's like 5-1, and you don't want to drop anybody. You can just say, "Hey, I don't want to drop my guy, so I'm going to start that spot empty and take the loss on a week." And the reason you can do that is because they're both gone on that week. So let's say you drop a good player that you like who's on a bye, or that that you want a depth piece like a wide receiver.
I would not
pick
drop
up
Josh Kelly yet.
and just so that you can pick up a guy like Frank Gore. Like, I'd rather just lose that week than waste a good guy, drop him, and have to pick up a guy who also I will probably lose that week even if he plays.
Yeah, Pocket says I'm going to be 5-1 after this week. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Based on your current running back situation, I don't think any of the other guys are really going to be too fantasy relevant. I'd probably drop Damian Harris because I don't think
I'd hold Damian Harris and not start anybody in that slot. Again, if your league will allow you to do that.
I wouldn't drop Drake just yet. I think, again, if he has 1 or 2 good games, he'll be.
Or even if you could package Harris and Drake and get,
But here's the thing. Harris just got the ball only 6 times after what did he have the week before? Did Harris have a bunch of points the week before?
Nobody on that offense did good there. A whole offensive scheme was like, I don't know what even their time of possession was.
So the game before after a bye week, he had 17 attempts for 100 yards. Nobody's going to remember that Damian Harris had 100 yards. Just drop him. Nobody's going to pick him up.
Someone will pick up Damian Harris.
People
are starving for running backs.
No.
When you look out there and the waiver wires are at the very top, Damian Harris, then Frank Gore, then that Browns guy that everybody's going to drop, whose name I don't remember.
Johnson.
And then it's brutal out there. And if you're in a 10-team league, people might not do it, but like if you're in a 12-team with a little bit deeper benches because of the COVID stuff, people are going to grab. I would love to grab Damian Harris in a couple of my leagues.
Drake might not be a member of the Boston Stranglers much longer. Yeah, no, Drake's been not very good.
What happens to Kenyon Drake after this year? Does a team pick him up somewhere else? The Cardinals don't
Drake's
go back to him, do
never
they?
been very good anyway. So
He was good for Miami, but Gase never played him, and like he just didn't get volume. So the little bit of volume he did, he was very efficient and made big plays.
Okay, so career he had a few good rushing attempts.
When it came to Arizona last year, he was very good. That's why people drafted
for
him
a few
highly.
games.
But this year, he hasn't been good.
Do you have him on a team?
I don't have Kenyon Drake, but
Me either.
I would have drafted him maybe this year.
But we didn't.
I didn't.
We had 5 leagues and you don't have him in any of them.
That's why we're
I think,
winning.
I think that's telling. Did you say something about Kelly? My internet is acting like the Packers yesterday.
Winning.
I'm probably still holding Josh Kelly. What about you?
Sucking and dropping everything.
Is Zeke still screwing this up?
Kelly,
Okay.
oh man, in Dynasty I'm for sure holding him. In redraft,
Andy Dalton to Amari Cooper for 26
he hasn't been good. He's had 3 weeks where he should have had an opportunity to be good, and he hasn't been good.
Is Mike Davis going to lose value?
I look
when
at their
CMC
matchups.
comes
I'd have to
back?
glance
Because
at
I
the
feel like I can snag Mike in a trade in a week or two. I would not try and get Mike Davis.
Mike Davis is going to lose huge amounts of value in Christian McCaffrey.
He's only valuable to the team that picked him up.
I don't know if I can think of any player in the entire NFL when a guy comes back that's going to lose more value. But here's the thing: if you get him,
Philip Lindsay.
nah, Philip Lindsay won't even lose as much value as
The
Mike
last
Davis.
3 games, he hasn't gotten a touch.
Who, Philip?
Philip Lindsay.
Nah, I still
Madison actually gets more value when Cook gets back.
Nah,
Because
Madison.
he only got 4 points in this
Madison
game, and
is almost a full fade, but
I'm holding Madison.
Madison's a similar guy where if they have a matchup next week, I could see him bouncing back and having an okay game if he's the guy. But no, Mike Davis, man, I think if you own Mike Davis and you are not the Christian McCaffrey owner, I try hard to trade Mike Davis to the Christian McCaffrey guy. It's like, hey, he was very good. You need a handcuff. If Christian re-aggravates, you're going to want this guy. I also, again, that's the whole play with Mike Davis is if you think Christian McCaffrey may re-aggravate his injury and Mike may get to start without Christian being there, he's very valuable. But you're going to have about 2 or 3 games where Christian comes back, he's good, Mike Davis isn't good, and you're going to drop him. The time to trade is probably
Pocket says, you guys
probably
like Giovanni Bernard as a hot waiver pickup?
Yeah, I do because Joe Mixon's the worst. Now, I just bashed Mixon because I got the bet against Nick. I need Mixon to not do better than David Montgomery, but Gio Bernard is a competent backup. That line is not good. Joe Mixon, who I strongly do feel that is more physically and just football talented than Gio Bernard, hasn't been phenomenal. But yeah, I think that if you need a running back and Joe Mixon's going to miss time, which I don't even think is officially
I don't think he's
decided
necessarily
yet.
going to miss time, no. If Joe Mixon misses time, Giovanni Bernard could be a top 15, top 18 running back. But he's not going to be super valuable, but he'll be startable.
I think he's going to be right in that tier under like Rojo, that whole
What
group of
an
guys.
interception. What an interception. Yep, Dalton picked off. Thanks for that.
Oh,
Bambo.
Dalton.
I'd rather risk getting Mike Davis rather than keep Hollywood a useless bimbo that can't catch him because his QB is RB. So here's the thing. Hollywood will have a big game sooner than later. Hold him. Once he blows up for like 50 points, just sell him as fast as you can. You can just say, he's just trying to get better, trying to get on the same page. You can still sell him. Don't drop him.
There are a lot of leagues where it is difficult to trade. So
bimbo. All out bimbo from Rocco. Why is this auto mod trying to ban everybody now?
it's nice words.
Dub,
man.
what did you
We're
do
all-
to
we're
these
all
fine
buddies here.
people? Okay, we're gonna do some start sit decisions for
Let's do it.
for next week.
All right, we're jumping way ahead.
Tyler Boyd or Jamison Crowder.
Crowder, who do they play?
Tyler Boyd plays Cleveland. Crowder plays Buffalo.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to pivot. I'm going to say Tyler Boyd.
Okay. Robert Woods versus Chicago or OBJ versus Cincinnati.
I'm going to pivot back to Crowder because Beasley had a good day and Crowder's kind of Beasley. All right. So say the last one again.
The last one was Robert Woods against Chicago or OBJ against Cincinnati.
I much more like Robert Woods as a player, but I'm going to pick OBJ in that
Yeah,
matchup.
no, Landry hasn't been good. Who'd you pick? Sorry.
It was OBJ versus Woods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'd take OBJ in that one.
Okay. Jerry Jeudy or Darius Slayton. Jerry Jeudy against Kansas City, Slayton against Philly.
Kansas City was good. Their defense has been good this year. I'll probably go Slayton.
DJ Shark or Foghorn Leghorn.
If DJ
Foghorn
Shark
against the Giants and Shark against the Chargers.
If DJ Shark has a good week of practice, isn't just like questionable all the way up until Thursday, Friday, I'll probably go with Shark.
Okay. Julian Edelman or T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, Edelman. I'm concerned about the Patriots passing game.
Here's something funny. For next week projected, they have Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster back-to-back with the same exact amount of points.
How many points?
11.46.
I'd be pretty content with 11 from Juju.
Pocket says Foghorn all the way. I'm starting Foghorn until he disappoints me. It may be this week. It may be 6 weeks from now, but I'm going to ride the hotness.
I'm ready to get hurt again.
I'm ready to be hurt again. The Tom Brady win vid is lurking in my soul. Do you know what also was bad? The Rodgers discount double check touchdown, and then they just get blown out immediately after that. Not a good look.
Oh, if only.
Not a good look.
If only I had
You done messed up, Aaron!
that job.
All right, I got an interesting one for
Oh, it's so great when bad things happen to Aaron Rodgers.
you. Ruggs or Keelan Cole?
Who's Ruggs matchup? Give me the matchup.
I don't actually have. Actually, I do. Against Tampa Bay. So Ruggs against Tampa Bay or Keelan Cole against the Chargers.
Those are both actually pretty solid defenses. If I have a third option, I go with that. But I'm gonna chase the Keelan Cole points.
Okay. These are people that are ranked in wide receiver 4 territory, which is interesting. NBA rig discount double poop my pants. I know you've been here before, but thank you for returning just to get that chat in there. We
He's
really
just
appreciate
been watching
that.
the whole show. Waiting.
Marcio is just
Mwah.
disturbed even for Bambo immediately left the chat. Oh man, that was nice.
Yes.
Okay,
Top notch.
Laviska Shenault or Sammy Watkins.
If Sammy plays, I like Laviska, and again, it's part of my fandom, but I'm going with Laviska. I'm gonna
sniffing around.
again, if he's questionable all week with a hamstring, I'll change my. But again, I think hopefully he comes back, he heals up that hammy, and he gets going. I like Laviska.
Okay.
Laviska's gonna get a touchdown one of these weeks. It's coming.
DJ Moore or Brandon Cooks?
Continue to give me the matchup.
Sorry.
That's all right.
DJ Moore against New Orleans. Brandon Cooks against Green Bay.
I'll take Brandon Cooks against Green Bay and their terrible, just reeling defense. That's a shell of what it was.
Mike Williams.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Mike Williams or John Brown.
Mike Williams, no matter what the matchup is.
Okay. I'm not even getting to you then.
Always Mike Williams. Come on, man. Mike Williams had a giant game. They had the bye. He should be the healthiest he's going to be all year. He's going to get 100 points, breaking his neck, diving for balls.
All right,
Let's go, Mike
I'm going
Williams.
to give you a decision that some people will have this week.
Oh.
In the flex, DeAndre Swift or James White?
It depends entirely on what I need out of my players.
DeAndre Swift. Here's the thing. DeAndre Swift against Atlanta. James White against San Fran.
I'll go. Let's chase the Swift points. I
chase
think
the
I like the
points here.
matchup a lot better for him.
Bambo
And-
says Kenny Galladay or Odell. I think that's an easy Galladay for me.
Yeah, Kenny G.
Yeah, Kenny
So
G
smooth.
all the way. So smooth. Kenny G came out of like nowhere. It's like, NIU receiver, kind of from a small school, and started
NIU guy. You got to root for
and
Kenny.
top 10, and he's a stud. Okay, let's see. Gibson or James Robinson?
All right, Gibby.
Good luck, brothers.
Now I'm going with Robinson.
Pocket says, I feel so bad for you. Your team's 4-1.
James Robinson.
That is funny. Okay. CEH with Le'Veon Bell breathing on his neck or
Hello, Clyde.
Boston Scott.
I'll play CEH over Boston Scott. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yahoo has
100%.
Boston Scott with more points next week.
They could
which
sign
is
Zeke, and I'd
interesting.
probably play CEH over Boston Scott. But
Wait, what?
they could sign Zeke, and I'd play CEH over Boston Scott. Boston Scott, man, I've had him, and I hoped, and I thought maybe he'd be good, and he has not come to fruition.
You ready for this? Back to back on the scoring list for projections. David Montgomery or Joe Mixon?
Let's see.
So since our bet, we were just doing total points in our league, right? So it's the last.
Yeah, tell us where we're
last
at.
2 weeks, 18.9 points for Montgomery, 13.7 for Montgomery, and Joe Mixon the last, or it was 3 weeks.
Yeah, that monster game.
10.7, 18.9, 13.7. So total was at 43 points about. Joe Mixon 47, 15.4, 15. So Joe Mixon ahead by about 30 points right now.
Yeah. Again, and we did have the caveat if there's an injury where a guy misses 3 weeks, then it changes it. But
I believe so.
if Joe
Montgomery
misses
versus
1
the Rams
week and
versus Mixon at Cleveland.
So the Rams looked very good 2 weeks ago, and then they did not look great against San
That's just the
Francisco.
Rams.
So it's tough to gauge how good their defense is. Aaron Donald is a stud. He gets after the Bears. They
So-
kind of got that Mac rivalry with him. But what was the Mixon matchup you said?
Mixon versus Cleveland.
And he's kind of a little banged up. I'd probably go with Mixon.
Bambo says Mike Evans or Will Fuller.
I like Will Fuller. Mike Evans is kind of underperformed.
I'm gonna try.
He had a
and
bad
trade.
week this week. I think I'm gonna go Will Fuller.
I'm gonna try and trade Mike Evans. If I can trade Mike Evans for close to full value, I'm trying to.
I don't know if you're gonna get it off of his points that he's put up so far. He's been banged up a little bit.
Yeah, no, but he's had enough points. It's been kind of weird points, but good
All
enough.
right.
James Conner or Todd Gurley? Todd Gurley against Detroit, Conner against Tennessee.
Man, the matchup is everything in that one. I probably rely on Todd Gurley to get a touchdown and go with Gurley.
Bambo, who would Mike Evans get you though? What kind of receivers would you think about?
I bet you could get Higgins easy for him. You probably could get a Justin Jefferson for him, don't you think?
Oh, if I get Justin Jefferson for Mike Evans, I would do that. I would take Jefferson.
I'm going to send that trade tonight. I'm going to try to get Mike Evans for Justin Jefferson.
Who are you going to send it to?
I'll do it right now. Let's see. We'll do it live.
Who are you going to send it to?
I got it. It's not one of the leagues that we're in together. I mean,
Ooh, I like this. Kyler with a scamper, a 1 yard scamper. That's nice for us. We have him in our co.
Let me glance at Justin Jefferson's upcoming. So he's got a bye. They got Green Bay and Detroit. Those are pretty good matchups. And they have Chicago. Then they got Dallas, which is real juicy.
Also, one more thing before you go.
So go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, Hollywood Brown, just to not dismiss him completely, his playoff schedule and end of year schedule is so juicy.
See, that's a good point to make.
They play such an easy
That's
schedule.
the kind of thing that if you want to win championships, you got to look at.
I'm almost looking to get him. If so, you're thinking about dropping him or getting rid of him for cheap. I'm actually maybe looking to acquire him. If I can acquire him for such a cheap price.
Here's a fun fact about Justin Jefferson. So he's got the next, 4 out of 5 games, pretty good matchup, and then at the end of the year, he's got
Marcio.
He's got Jacksonville week 13, but then the playoffs. So 14, 15, 16, if you go 16. Tampa Bay, Chicago, New Orleans that are all, 21st, 31st, 24th. So I don't know. Maybe you hold Jefferson, try and ride the lightning.
Points against? Just give us those. Has he played any hard matchups that he's put
So
points
the
against?
points that his big weeks have been against Atlanta this past week, which
So
you can
not good.
throw out as being the worst. And the other one was Tennessee, which is actually 9th against wide receivers, partially probably because of his giant game, but
Here's an interesting. Bambo says Mike Evans for James Conner. The guy with Conner.
now you won't get a running back.
So he may be inclined to make Mike Evans since he has T.Y.
You're going to have to pry James Conner.
If you can get James Conner, I don't like James Conner at all, but he's going to be way more consistent, and running back is such a heavy need right now.
Monday Night Football goes
I would
commercial.
do
Take a quick break. Be right back.
All right. Pocket. I need Dallas to put up some points so Arizona will keep playing. I need Dalton to put up some points so I can get a win this week. Need 11 more from Murray. Yeah, some Dallas points would definitely help you in that way. Adrian Peterson still is getting points. Adrian Peterson this coming week or Frank Gore. We've been going over this back and forth the last couple of weeks. I think Mike had to make this decision because they were both on waivers. So you got Frank Gore against Buffalo and Adrian Peterson versus Atlanta. I think you have to start Adrian Peterson and just hope Swift isn't going to get all the touches this week. Yeah, I agree, Pocket. I think it's an easier matchup, and they hopefully will score enough that you can even get a touchdown out of him and Swift if needed. I can't believe you started Dalton. Did you have another choice? I had some other choices, but I just wanted to chase the points, and I think there's enough receivers that he could still get the job done. Like I said, I had Russ on bye, and I just think even if Dalton doesn't perform this week, I'm still going to hold him. It is not a 20-person league. It's not that bad of a start. Come on now. I'll let you know if I snag Connor. If I do, I think I win the trade, to be honest. Yeah, no, I think you're safely in the lead. I mean, with injuries and other things, you never know. Don't get me wrong. Mike Evans, probably the rest of the season, is probably a wide receiver, I'd say 10 to 15 or 12 to 18 range, but I think he's going to do it in weeks where he's got 30 points and some weeks like this one where he's got 2 to 3, and I don't think he's going to be reliable. I look for more consistency personally.
We got to come. It's only the third quarter. The Dallas offense doesn't work yet.
Yeah.
Their whole game plan is to lull them to sleep,
That
a
is
sense
true.
of complacency,
That
and
is
then
true.
pounce.
We're 2 QB leagues. I have Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, and Teddy Bridgewater on my team. Someone dropped Joe Burrow. Do you guys drop Teddy Bridgewater for Joe Burrow? No. Yes.
I started.
I think I actually dropped Matt Stafford for Joe Burrow. No? Stafford got you decent points this week.
So-
That's too many quarterbacks. Can you trade? Can you trade one of those guys away? If you can trade Teddy or Matt
They're
Stafford,
honestly kind of comparable in just they're
Who does the
pretty
Dak
good
owner have?
quarterbacks on pretty bad teams.
if the Dak owners spend a lot of money on Dalton, I bet you could fleece him on a trade with this.
So yeah, if you can trade for Dalton after a bad performance on the primetime game, I am a fan of that move. I think that Dalton's going to have brighter days. I think this offense is good. Again, it's his first start on the team, so that gets overlooked a little bit.
Bambo says Andy Dalton has him right where he wants him.
Yep.
I want to see Andy Dalton do well. I mean,
A rifle.
It's good for everybody. But
Is
yeah,
it? Like-
Dubber, see if you can trade Stafford or Bridgewater to the Dak owner. I don't know if they have anybody else. The league I have Murray and Superflex had him, and Dak was dominating. That hurts. The Dak owner in my league got Tannehill, so he came up big time. Yeah, I don't. Who drops Tannehill
With
in
Dalton
in
as a
Superflex?
quarterback?
How many
here,
teams?
Let me
in
read
this
you
league?
something. With
Yeah.
Dalton as a quarterback, Michael Gallup, 3.3 fantasy points and a half PPR. CeeDee Lamb, 3.45. CeeDee Lamb.
Where's the lamb?
I need more Lamb.
Yeah, they're just not like on the same page right now.
So that's, I think, worth noting is one thing is if you got Dalton somewhere and you're worried about him trying to be your quarterback, you're not happy with this. But if you are the Amari Cooper, the CeeDee Lamb, and the Gallup owner, what's your panic level?
Not very
It's
high
just
right
one
now.
game.
It's one game. I mean, you hope obviously for a better performance, but again, there's still a quarter and a half. There can be a lot of garbage time still. I mean, you never know. Amari Poopy, LMAO. So what happened? Did he drop it?
It was
Did
a
he score?
Freudian slip.
Oh, there you go. First down.
All right, now that we say that, there is a reception by Pooper, and he gets across the line. So
Looks like Foles the first week starting with the Bears. Yeah, honestly, it's easy for him to come out and not look very good.
yeah, no, it's easy to.
And don't forget, they're missing 2 starting offensive linemen. I think they had another one get banged up in this game. It's not like he's going to have the clean pocket that Dak has had the last couple of years. I mean, that line's injured. Dak was having to move around a lot, and the Red Rifle isn't necessarily as agile as Dak.
Yeah,
Maybe now he is.
And you can't discount the lack of soul that those Dalton type guys have. But I don't know, man. 28-3. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, they have had a I'm trying to think of the right wording. Crippling, disappointing year so far. Just devastating on so many fronts.
Well, and they're still trying. I understand why they're running it here to try and get the first down.
3
but
points against the low-powered Arizona Cardinals.
They're going to start moving the
defense.
ball if they're going to try and win this
They're
game.
going to have to do a whole bunch of things if they want to win this game.
Poopy says
And-
Zeke's got to get that stripper oil off his hands.
And
before
top of the
game
list
time.
is just be better at football.
Marcio says Dalton has no soul. Bambo, wait, are you guys from Chicago? Oh no.
Chicago.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. We
He
come
knows.
from a little city.
He knows.
Starts with a C, ends with an O, and has an ICOG in the middle.
Is that exactly how that works? Yeah, no, we're Bears fans. We're from just outside Chicago.
The Bears are who
You're
we
so
thought
welcome
they
to hang
were.
out with us. It's nothing
What a
against
great
you.
team.
It's just your team, you know. Yeah, exactly. We spell it Chicago apparently here. I don't know why. Okay.
Chicago, Illinois.
If Le'Veon Bell is for some reason on waivers, how much are you spending fab wise to pick him up?
A large amount. Even if he was out there when he was on the Jets, I probably would have spent a good chunk, like half of my fab.
I think
50%.
he was probably dropped in some places. I mean, he's well owned now, but
it's not 100% chance that he goes to Kansas City and is great at football. He could easily go there and be nothing. He could be the
absolutely.
the Shady McCoy of last year, for
Right.
them, where he just is an old guy who once in a while gets in but doesn't look great, isn't fantasy relevant. But I'm taking the chance, man. If I got a guy, He sat out that 1 year, so he didn't have the mileage on his legs that year. They hated him. Gase just liked to play Gore, so they didn't get miles on him there. I think he's going to have fresh legs, and I could see him. Le'Veon Bell, to me, tell me if you disagree, feels like a guy who's not playing hard if he doesn't feel like playing hard.
If Le'Veon Bell comes up and shows up next week and puts up 35 points,
I could see that.
I honestly, seriously,
I could see that being in the realm of possibility.
I would trade for him as being a top 5 option without thinking.
I would believe it. I think if he goes out and looks good first game, you believe it.
Seriously, if they put him right into the offense next week and he has 15 rush attempts for 100 yards and 5 catches,
yeah.
I'm instantly paying whatever the person
If he has
wants.
like 60 yards and a touchdown, coming from the Jets, that is such a monumental
I know you.
jump.
What would it take right now for me to get him from your roster?
I would need like a viable running back. I would probably trade him for James Conner right now, or maybe David Montgomery.
Antonio Gibson.
That level of guy. Antonio Gibson, no. I'm taking the upside. And again,
Myles Gaskin.
Part of it is if I miss and I get so if I trade him away for an Antonio Gibson and he hits, okay, so if I trade him and he misses, it's like, okay, it's not that big a difference. If I keep him and he hits, it could win me the league. I think the upside chance, the possibility that he goes there and is good is more valuable to me than a mid to low range kind of running back who's not going to win me a championship.
How about James Robinson?
So James Robinson would be right on that. I'd think about it. I'd think about James Robinson. I'd think about Myles Gaskin. Mostert, I'm concerned about his health. He has looked very good when he's out there. That's a team that runs the ball well. But again, there's the health concern. And I'm probably, if you've got Le'Veon Bell, you might be on a team that doesn't have a great record. Maybe you've scraped together 2 wins and you're still trying to, you need to stack some wins to make the playoffs. I think that
David Johnson?
No, I don't. I'm just not a David Johnson guy. If you believe in David Johnson, maybe you make that, but I'm not. He's not a guy that I've ever liked. I'm not. A Joe Mixon guy, I might have to put away my prejudices about Joe Mixon and say, maybe I can get that because of the ankle. But the volume, you've made good points about Joe Mixon. So unlike AJ Green, who just believed in completely baselessly and is awful, Joe Mixon is actually good at football.
All right, chat's popping off here.
Oh, okay, give me some chat. Sorry, we don't want to ignore you, chat.
We're going to go back.
You're
from
important
the
to us.
Pocket says, I think everyone watches the show is from the area. I think a lot of people in here are from the Chicago area.
Start telling your friends that live in Florida. We are trying to expand. We got to take over the world, man.
Bambo says, I'm from Philly, but raised a Packers fan, so Smeagol sells.
Oh,
that's okay. This is just like actual Chicago, where half the fans are Packer fans.
So the cheese steak, it's just the best cheese on your steak. I like it.
Yeah. Dalton just launching it to nobody. Marcio, I hate their fans. The Dallas fans, yeah.
I don't know, man. Dallas fans. There's a lot of Dallas fans, and that's the thing about Dallas fans. You can find them in every all over the world because it's kind of America's team.
You can enjoy their naivety.
Just their suffering is, it's always present. The Dallas always supposed to be good. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Super Bowl contender. This is the year, and they never do it.
Andy Reid is getting a cheeseburger and a touchdown to make Lev happy.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope
Philly
so.
cheesesteak.
I have CEH, but I'm excited to see Bell play for the Chiefs.
It's good football. Yeah,
correct.
It hurts your CEH, but I think CEH could actually. I think both of them could have success on that team. They could both have a little bit different role, but CEH. If you watched the game today earlier, got that touchdown called back. So they had a good play designed for him. They gave it to him. They wanted him to get the touchdown. Absolutely. He was in there, and it just got called back on a kind of a BS hold. It was a bad call. I think that it's not impossible that it actually helps open up CEH a little bit, but
yeah. Okay. Bambo says, I hate the NFC East more than the Lions. Ooh, I don't know about that. Dogs barking. Banjo says, also in Texas.
Dogs out.
Also in Texas, but from Illinois, so these guys remind me of home. Glad we could bring a little bit of that, Midwestern comfort to you.
You just made the right choice moving to Texas.
Yeah.
Nick lived in Texas for a little bit there.
I did live in Fort Worth for a year.
Yeah. So a man of the world, a man of the people.
Missed the 58-yarder. There's 5 minutes left in the third. You got to start scoring points at some point. Just do it.
I don't know that that's how points work, but yeah, missed the kick.
You blew it!
You don't like that.
Pocket Bull said they went to bartending school in Dallas when he got out of the Army. Nice. Let's see. Marcio, this man did not just offer Gibson for Bell. I don't have Gibson on my team. I was just saying, what type of player would you have to would you be looking for
in a dynasty?
Who would you rather have?
So
Marcio?
let's talk about that. In a dynasty league, would you give up? I probably wouldn't if I'm going for it. But if you're like the last place team, you know you're not going to make the playoffs. The upside of Gibson, Washington again.
I'd trade Bell for Gibson in dynasty.
I could see that.
I would
That's not
do that.
outside the realm of possibilities.
I would do that. Let's see. Quick hurry, push accept. Yes.
Another point is if you're in Dynasty, Bell might be a guy that you could make a trade for if you're trying to make a run. Especially, let's say he comes out that first week and isn't just a world beater. Are you still trying to get him off the lowered expectation?
If Bell goes off, I'm a contender in Dynasty. If Bell goes off, I wouldn't offer more than a second.
So let's say he comes out and he gets 10 carries and he has 40 yards. He looks good, but he doesn't get, a big fantasy day. I think then you have a better chance to grab him.
In Dynasty, I'm only paying for him if I know he's going to perform.
You think he's going to be very good?
I'd rather just pay for real Bell than pay for what could be.
I don't hate that.
In Dynasty.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wow, the chat is going by so fast.
All right, we appreciate you, chat.
Are we going to start adding the Falcons?
So they're putting Mostert on the IR, and we talked about that a little bit earlier, but I think Jerick McKinnon, that you have more confidence in him. We talked about the new guy whose name I can never remember to save my life. They called him up off the practice squad. JaMycal Hasty. So if you're feeling hasty.
Bambo, cough, 28-3. That's why the Falcons reference. Got it. Marcio, I heard during the afternoon game. NBA rigged. What grade would you give Andy Dalton this game? B, C, or F? Would you trust Dalton or Bridgewater going forward?
So I already kind of said, no matter what Dalton does in this game, I've got him. I picked him up a week before, and I'm starting him next week.
What are they barking?
Because I got to sit Lamar. So when Lamar's on bye, I'm playing Andy Dalton this next week matchup. It's a soft matchup. He's not a primetime performer. He's going to have a better game, you would think, just because this is his first start. They got another week to practice and iron out all the things that went wrong in this game. So I like Dalton.
Bridgewater is the James White of quarterbacks. And, again, if you need 20 to 25 points.
Consistent. He's going to throw it to my man Robbie Anderson.
I think he's got a pretty high floor, Bridgewater. So
I think that Bridgewater has a higher floor and Dalton has a higher ceiling.
I would agree with that. I still don't mind holding on to Dalton and starting him here and there.
And again, most of our fans
didn't look good
pretty savvy, but if we got anybody that's new to the fantasy, when we talk about floor and ceiling, floor is the minimum amount of points they're going to get in a game, and ceiling is the maximum amount of points they're going to be able to get in a game.
That is correct. Pocket says, is that how it works? I don't know what you're referring to, but yes, that is how it works. McCarthy may know more. Yeah, I think
you got bamboozled.
They got to just start throwing the ball. I mean, you have to start going on fourth down regardless of the outcome, I feel. So you're saying the Packers lost.
You got to send it.
Yes. All right. Skipping ahead. Rodgers won the divorce with McCarthy. That may be true.
Oh, we can't skip. I'm glad you mansplained football to me. Hey.
Sorry.
I was actually doing it for all the people in my family league because there have been some questionable plays.
NBA Rig says you guys are doing great. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
We needed that.
You're doing great.
My back feels padded now. We're good.
Yeah.
The Marcio says
nobody's commented on the new microphone
dog.
covers. You guys like the new muffs?
Does it sound any different? It's supposed to make
it smoother and more soothing?
It's supposed to make the plosives softer, so you can't spit into it as much.
Oddly shaped feet.
Unique New York. Pocket, your dog can bark at the computer screen and Nick's dogs.
How now, brown cow?
Exactly. That honestly,
we need more dogs.
They bark at ghosts. They'll bark at anything at this point.
They're just barking at the Dallas Cowboys like, do something.
Fuzzy walls.
Throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb.
Can we all agree that Julian Edelman or Jarvis Landry could both play better at QB than Philly P? Who's Philly P? Phillip Rivers? Is that who we're talking about? Julian Edelman actually had 2 completions, 2 for 24, I think it was. So, good for him. It's not as good as Landry getting you the touchdown.
It didn't look good, man, but points are points. Garbage points.
Drink some water. Slow down the pace. Well, we're actually wrapping up here soon, unfortunately.
We're trying to keep up with the chat. We're trying to keep up with this.
Chat's blowing up.
High-paced Dallas Cowboys offense.
They're not even on the field.
What's Kenny Drake's line? Read out Kenny Drake's numbers.
Chip, chop, chip. Coming right up. Kenny and Drake. So far tonight, 12 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. He's actually broken off a couple long runs. So he's
all right. How many receptions?
I don't see the receptions on here. Let me go back to this page.
He had a couple.
Christian Kirk has 2 for 86, though.
Okay.
Larry Fitzgerald, 3 for 22. DeAndre Hopkins, 1 for 13. Ruh-roh, your number 1 wide receiver on the year.
Hopkins,
with
where'd
one
you go,
catch for
man?
nothing.
They just haven't needed him because they've been up.
So I have Hopkins and Evans on my dynasty team. So I could get potential 1 for 13 from Hopkins and 1 for 10 from Evans. That is not so good. So Kenyon Drake has no catches. So he's just got the rushing yards, 12 for 67 and the touchdown. Who remembers when Odell was good? I remember. I actually had Odell on my team when he did the one catch.
No, I remember Odell when he gave up on the Giants and faked a quad injury and sat out games at the end of the year and killed me in fantasy.
Or when he got in a fight with
That's why I'm salty. That's a lot of why
net.
I'm salty. Yeah, I remember last year when they said he had an abdominal injury and he just also quit on the team because the Browns sucked and Kitchens was a bad coach.
Delbert says this is
I'm not
definitely
an Odell fan.
Drake's best game of the season. Yeah, he's looked okay, but again, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys defense here. So
yeah.
If you follow NFL memes, they said touchdowns Baker had on Sunday.
Do you follow NFL memes? Yeah. We're fans. We're meme fans. Memologists.
Yeah. No, Baker is rough because just when you think, oh, he's finally clicking, he just comes out and gives you 3 points.
All right, here's a question for yourself as well as the chat.
Yep.
Give me the top NFL meme of the year so far. I've got 2 that come to my mind.
I mean, the obvious one is the Brady 4.
The Brady
right?
4, it's very recent. We're Bears fans, so the Brady 4 was one.
Yeah.
Before that, do you know what the best one, even better than that was?
Give it to me.
Andy Reid, week 1, fogged up face shield. The fogged up face shield, it was just the best memes.
I like the Baker commercials, so they're entertaining enough.
Oh, Baker commercials. Baker is funny. Baker, as far as a guy that I would hang out with, if I had to pick a quarterback to hang out with, top 3 for sure.
Oh.
When he bit that beer, shotgunned it, and then just did the jersey thing at the game, that's easily the best beer chug. Like
Fitzmagic, Baker, and who else? Jay Cutler?
No, man.
Favre?
Jay is entertaining to
I'll go
watch,
Favre.
but I don't think I want to hang out with him. Favre, I don't want to hang out also because
What?
he was a Packer, so I just got to hate him on principle. He's a funny guy. I give it to him, but
Favre was such a fun player.
I'm not talking all time. I'm talking active quarterbacks now. Peyton
We're talking
Manning.
active?
Peyton Manning, if you're going all time, I'm taking
Okay.
Peyton for sure.
Give us your all-timers.
But
Love the Reed face shield, says NBA.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the punky QB. Yeah, there's just a lot of all time's too much. So we got to narrow it down to right now.
Do you know what's funny? We did such a good job tonight. We actually lost a follower. We had a 171.
Oh,
we
no.
lost a
They
follower
can't handle this
tonight.
heat. They can't take this
my
hot takes.
Goodness, Marcio, I have a funny TikTok for that. The
Someone
thong
cared
mask.
enough to just log on. Like, it's a Packer
Yeah, they
fan.
logged in. They
It's
checked
the
it. They're
Packer
like,
hate was
you
too
know,
much.
You know what? This isn't for me.
Nope.
This isn't for me.
I think that Phillip Rivers is a nice man.
Yep.
Like,
Unsubscribe.
it was one of his kids that actually unsubscribed. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
But that's what gives us the even
so
one.
we might lose 11 followers then.
Oh,
after this.
no.
Best Baker commercial was Tebow opened the door like Jesus Moses at the Heisman compound. That was a good one too. Not enough of Zama talk. I got it. So it was on you that unfollowed probably then. No, I'm just kidding.
Zama.
Hope it was a nice spot.
Oh, there you go.
Dubfire, thank
Appreciate.
you.
Make up for the loss.
I think Dubfire was already a follower, so
all
it
right.
just goes right back to
I like
170.
Dubfire better.
But if
than
not, welcome. Thank you
33.
for joining us. Welcome to the
my
Fantasy
high
Football
school
Addicts.
basketball number 33. There.
33, was it?
Yes, it was.
That is good to note. All
Doubled
right.
it to 66 when I was a defensive lineman in high school football.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
No, man,
Fun fact.
brand new. Thank you for joining us.
All
Getting us
right.
back to the 171 mark.
Welcome.
That is that's our number. That's our threshold. We got to be
Spit hot
we got to
fire.
be above that. Okay, so quick story about Rocket League last night. I know I want to take a quick break from fantasy football for 1 second.
All right,
we're playing
Rocket
this
League.
match. We're crushing them. We're up 4 to 1, I think. There's like 3 seconds left. We have this sweet play. We're going to score.
Winning.
And they just completely stuff us and shut us down. And the guy in the other chat says, "Let that be a lesson." We thought he was just talking crap, and he goes, "Nobody beats us 5-1." And it was just the fact that he wasn't salty and he just brought a little humor.
You got to embrace the win
Oh, my
there.
God.
Embrace the loss. I
AJ
guess.
Green has left the chat. No, I'm picking AJ Green up. I'm picking him
Oh,
up.
don't.
8 for 96.
Just send your.
Kenyon Drake unfollowed the channel. Juju unfollowed them. Yeah. So we're okay with these unfollows.
Juju, a fantasy football player. If you've seen the Sleeper Bowl, he does play with the footballers and Ninja, the video game streamer. So
we'll have to get him on here, maybe.
So
maybe we'll get him on here.
This is another little fun insight.
Andy
if you
Dalton
didn't hear
to
about
CeeDee
it.
Lamb for 27. So if you're waiting for CeeDee Lamb,
Juju, that week, that early week when Benny Snell had the good game, he actually picked up Benny Snell, and the footballers were going nuts thinking that meant that he was going to be good. And then he had the bad week next week, and Juju dropped Benny Snell. So there you go. That's a little fun fact about
painful.
Juju. CeeDee Lamb, get involved, catch and catch.
All right, so I'm playing against Amari Cooper. I need 10 more points, or I need Andy Dalton from here on out to outscore Amari Cooper by 10 points. I don't like my odds there. I'm playing against the 12th place team. They just showed up. I would have beat every other team, whatever. Juju has like 1,000 people watching his streams. You don't want him to unfollow. I know. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I don't
every
think
time.
Juju knows who we are yet.
Dove Fire says, "How's everyone's week go?" Well, I think I'm going to go 2-3 now, unless Andy Dalton throws a sweet touchdown to anybody.
So if you're asking how
Amari
Nick
Cooper.
and I together our joint week, we are winning right now. We still have Kyler Murray and Greg Zuerlein going. Greg Zuerlein only 2 points this week. So I, in that league, picked up
Greg the League has not been
Will
good for
Fuller.
fantasy
So we're
all
going to
year.
go ahead and throw Will Fuller into our lineup and drop Zuerlein probably. And they have Schultz. We are winning 142 to 77 in that league. So I have
Double
locked
them
up.
up.
4 out of 5
Double
leagues
them up.
I have locked up. I'll talk about the last one.
Yeah,
Again,
Dalton just got
I'm
smoked.
just
on
gloating.
AM.
I'm just taking the lap. So, chat amongst yourselves as I just talk about how great I am. The only league that's contested at all, I am winning 115.75 to 104.74. He has Gallup. I have CeeDee Lamb. Anything can happen in garbage time, but hopefully going to clean sweep. Get the full 5 for 5 this week.
That'd be good.
And it makes me so happy. Whole rest of the week, going to be a good week. 2020, it's looking up. Things are
Banjo
getting
says,
better.
"My last undefeated team is going down." That's unfortunate, but that's all right. It sounds like you're going to make the playoffs then.
Yeah, no, Cook being out, but again, it sounds like he's going to come back pretty soon. So, we got.
Cook's been a stud too.
I don't know if you saw the defensive player get the sack and then do, what little celebration he did. He did the Justin Jefferson shuffle 3 glasses.
I mean,
So it's
Jefferson's
catching on.
Just setting the
It's
trend.
the sensation that's sweeping the nation, man. I don't know.
When are we having drinks and playing Among Us? That's a good question. We should do a community night.
So have you played
here in
Among
the
Us,
future.
Nick?
I have. I have played a few games.
Okay.
I'm not
All right.
like super experienced.
So-
I know there's a credit card swiper game. I know there's
Gotcha. We talked about it.
playing a
That,
fighting game.
I did download it, but I haven't messed around with it. So I was talking to a student I work with today, and he was telling me that he was a big fan. So I'm gonna jump into it, give it a chance.
Mike's
because
also
I've
like
heard good things.
a little bit of a PC noob, I think, as we would.
I'm
we would
not a
say.
big PC guy. I don't know. Again,
We'll have to convert you.
my computer's always riddled with viruses for some reason, so it's hard to get those games going.
Pocket stroking our ego some more. Telling Banjo, keep listening and watching the Addicts, and you'll win the rest.
I'm not
rest of the
convinced
season.
that Pocket Pool
Sus
isn't like.
AF. Marcio sniffing it out right away.
Yeah, Nick just created a bot that is Pocket Pool who just strokes the ego, tells us we're great.
You guys are doing all right. Thanks, Pocket.
Keep up the great insight. Those takes are so hot. My
Somebody
face
is
is
always
melting.
watching.
No, we appreciate all you. We really
Yeah, we
do.
do.
No, it's fun. Again, a lot more fun for us when we get people active and we can talk with you.
So I'm in picks pool. A lot of people picked Dallas. Effing hilarious. So I was trying to bet on this game. So this is why I actually hit on Travis Kelce, because I'm looking at these games and I'm like, all right, I'll just pick the spread on both games and parlay it together and it'll be fine. And I really just didn't have a good feeling on either of them. Didn't like the line. So I'm like, screw it. Travis Kelce scoring the first touchdown. Let's see how it goes.
Travis Kelce is very, very good
And,
at football.
oh my God.
And I don't know how much
That
longer,
was
how many more years he has of
phenomenal.
being what he is. But man, if you can squeeze 2 more great years out of Kelce, we talked about it earlier.
I play on PC.
I prioritize him in my draft, so I'm doing.
He plays on console.
Drafting. Yeah, but I'm a Xbox One guy. I got the Xbox One S.
But are you gonna get the new Xbox?
I could be talked into the console. Or
I think
the
I'm getting.
computer.
I think I'm gonna get the new Xbox or new 3080 with my Kelce money.
Gotcha.
I think that's what's going to happen. All right. Before we wrap up here, any last minute questions, start sits, anything you would like to get out before we sign off and maybe watch this last fourth quarter for ourselves? PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC. Got them all. You guys think Superflex is going to be bipolar all season? Kittle is shit in the bed and killed me last week. Yeah, Kittle had a good week this week, and then he's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
He gets injured and then kind of disappears.
So you've
occasionally.
seen Josh
Garoppolo's
Allen
bad.
come back down to earth a little bit. You had Dak go
Right,
out.
I figured it out afterwards.
Again, you still definitely are trusting Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers, again, was another big quarterback that's been producing who came back down to earth hard this week.
Kittle's the only San Fran player I'm super confident about starting going forward.
So if you've grabbed Mahomes and Lamar, you haven't been ecstatic about their production, but they've consistently got over that 25-point mark, which is valuable to have that consistency from a quarterback. And I don't see that changing. We got Kyler as our quarterback in our joint league. He's been good, not great. He hasn't kind of broken out like you maybe hoped he would, but his rushing ceiling is good. Yeah, man, I think that everybody, as far as quarterback, is there anybody who isn't what you thought they were? There again, a couple guys that let you down.
Quarterback-wise?
I think you knew they could. I think Josh Allen of everybody is the one where maybe you're seeing a little bit more of that. Maybe he's not just going to be this all year.
I think just the most disappointing, we've talked about him multiple times, is Rivers. You're hoping that with offensive line he would be
but I don't
startable.
think people
maybe even
drafted
weekly,
him
or
ever looked at him
100%
as
agree.
but again, a big day fantasy.
Deshaun Watson was trending that direction.
Deshaun Watson, I think, is maybe the most you feel good about after this week. He's the most redeem
sure.
yourself kind of guy.
Yeah, well, it's 2 back-to-back decent.
All right,
weeks,
you ready? Just be silent through this whole drive.
Just
Fitzmagic.
when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
There you go, Deshaun. That's
All right,
for you, buddy. Thanks for the follow.
Fitzmagic being top 6 or 7 is a shocker to me. I don't know if it shocks me that much. I guess the consistency is what's shocking.
Yeah,
but he does this.
So that's another thing. Tua
He's
did
what I
get in.
wanted the Red Rifle to be.
We touched on it early. Tua got into that game, but it was because they were, solidly ahead. I don't think now it's going to be Tua going forward if there's any kind of concern about that. There, CeeDee Lamb getting another catch. That's going to lock it up. I'm going to declare victory now. 5 out of 5. I am the greatest. So good at fantasy football.
He's declaring it.
All right, hold on.
I declare bankruptcy.
Oh, if only I had a drop, especially for this
And then you
moment.
watch
Does it
entire-
feel good to be a champion? Yeah. Yeah, it feels good to be a champion.
All right, now Gallup's going to have a giant
always-
ending game, and I'm going to blow that
You
one.
can always count on Mike to gloat. Breeze is looking old.
You know what it's
Hopefully
called? It's
MT
called
brings him
winning.
back.
It's called being a champion.
And there's the interception.
All right,
Is
so
that Baker again? There's Buda Baker getting you a pick 6.
Buddha. Oh man, again, he was the only
not
IDP
quite.
player I really paid
Zeke
up
with
for,
the tackle.
and I've been very happy. He actually, fun fact about Buddha Baker, if you didn't know, had a thumb surgery, missed 1 week, and came back from the thumb surgery.
Yeah, he tore a
and
ligament in
put
his
up a
thumb.
big game, and is now putting up another big game. So
Breeze always scares
What a
me.
stud.
The Saints are an anomaly at always. Just when you trust them.
Breeze of all the old quarterbacks has looked again. Rivers has looked.
We lost
old,
another
but-
follower. What's with this? It keeps going back down to 170.
Oh no.
I guess the other guys. So I was so soaked I found your stream. I'm glad you found the stream too, Dub.
Oh, yeah, happy to
Welcome
have
aboard.
you.
Actually, now that I remember you.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, I thought you came by and chatted a little while ago. A couple streams ago.
We remember
Yeah.
you. We pay attention.
Welcome back. Alrighty, well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I think we're gonna try and
Good
host-
bowling celebration. Yep, my bowling buddies, the bowlers of the world rejoice.
Yep. Hang out while we host one of my buddies. Eli Plays.
Yep, thank you. Good show to all of you. Again, you carrying us. We appreciate it. Go
We're
football.
not supposed to tell them they're carrying us. That's
They know.
part of the allure.
Pocket knows. Pocket's like,
Pocket
he's
knows.
probably telling his family, like, guys, I can't hang out with you tonight. I gotta go carry these guys through their podcast.
Dub, I'm glad. So did you just search it tonight? Because I'm glad you found it. Because
Marcio.
I've been posting on Reddit a couple times the last few weeks and
Yep.
just hoping to get as many people in here as possible. Because at the end of the day, I just want to talk about fantasy football for a little while.
No, Marcy, hope that your life goes great, except for your football team does terrible.
Are you guys on Twitter? We are on Twitter, Dub Rugger.
Yes.
If you actually click
Tell 'em about the socials.
the tabs below, the panels below, it should direct link you to all of our socials.
Yeah, so
I'll follow on Twitter. Thanks for that.
yeah, no problem. Appreciate that. And again, if we get some more followers on there, we'll be a little more active in there, get some more interaction going. We do have a Facebook page, it's just the Fantasy Addicts. We made like a business page. We are on Instagram. We have a couple, again, a lot of these things we just got going, and we'll see if they pick up, if we get traction, if we start seeing people kind of responding or showing up, we'll be more active in those. But there's some stuff.
Marcio says, let's take this over to the Discord.
And if you like to
I
listen,
can post the Discord link here.
We do post, usually the Monday night shows we will post to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So if you're just in the car or something or mowing the lawn, you want to listen to a football podcast, you can throw us on those.
All right, I'm going to create this invite real quick.
And all of them Fantasy Addicts, and the logo should be, look for the logo that's on our top corner of our stream. That's what we're using in most spots right now.
Thank you for sharing your evening with all of us. Oh, it's been a
happy
pleasure
to do it. Two
to
football
hang out with you
games
all.
today.
2 football games was nice. Maybe I hope we get more of this despite, and it's not all COVID related, because the double games are really an enjoyment. Alrighty, until next time, the Discord link doesn't work, my dude. Fantasy Addicts on Spotify. What's the specific Spotify address on?
So if you just go into Spotify and you type in Fantasy Addicts and look for the logo, that's
so we're branded as Fantasy Addicts Podcast on a lot of the socials, and then Twitch is Fantasy Football Addicts, just for ease of finding. We picked jersey 33 because of which player?
Me, I actually, just a fun fact, I had a buddy that was his lucky number, and he ended up not, picking another one, so I went with that one just because of that. But best 33 sports, Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen, not a Peanut?
Tillman, also a big fan, but that was later in life after I had already dedicated myself to the number.
Fair enough. Definitely, all right.
I wasn't good enough to be Jordan. So
Marcio, they stream on Sundays too. Yeah, we over Bird. Yeah, we're Chicago.
Oh, Larry Bird, also great. One of the greats. So
Marcio, I found
like
you on
Bird.
Spotify. I had to type in a few different things. Yeah,
I probably played closer to Bird than Pippen's level.
We're a little more popular on Twitch than the Spotify.
Yeah, we've been putting it into Twitch, but we
change
are on YouTube. We usually post the Monday night shows on there, and then once we get them up there, then we'll throw it up on.
And the Sunday stream is that's our bread and butter. That's the fancy red zone Sunday fancy fix.
That's
I think
where you
we're
get
going
the muff money to put on the microphone.
The muff money. I don't
These
think
are called muffs.
I don't
right?
think we can use
I
muff
think that's
money.
accurate. Yeah, don't Google it.
Oh my goodness! All right, on that note, let's
Job done.
go over to Eli here.
All right, take it easy. See you later.
We're not offline yet. All right, now we're going offline. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.